Again, I'm still new to this damn Zoom. Did you see my one Zoom I did with the one kid to where it didn't record? I had to do it twice.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, because I don't know why I didn't record, dude. It was like I did exactly like this, and it's now the thing is the record button wasn't at my bottom strip, which I did nothing different. So it's like, oh yeah, no shit, dumbass, didn't record. I was like, well, no, but that's not the thing, because like of my other meetings, because it comes up in your meeting profile of Zoom. I was like, it started recording like my Seth ones. I was like, I hit record like 2 minutes later. I was like, but it recorded all that first stuff. So I was like, why did it start recording then? I was like, I know for a fact I hit record after. So I figured, well, it did that. I was like, maybe it just shows up in your meetings automatically. Well, it didn't. So, I offered him either a refund or or we can redo it. I was like, it's up to you, dude, because it's like it's obviously my fault. But yeah, I'm still trying to figure these damn things out. But I'm getting better and better, you know.
I just got my vision's going, so I can't even like see. I have to wear bifocals and stuff, so I can
Come
barely
on,
see.
Grandpa. What are you talking about? Where's your glass?
No, I'm 47, so
Hmm.
that's. But I was a little late to the game, like to join a band. Um, like I moved to Huntsville. Fleshtized had already broken up, and there was like this band. Fleshtized had broken up. I joined. Garth, who you're talking to about the Fleshtized reissue.
Mm-hmm.
I joined a thrash band with him. That was the first band I was in here, and but it was just a small scene. There was like a black metal band, Bloodstained Dusk, um, Temple of Blood, which was a thrash band, and then Convergence from Within, which is where Gary came from, the drummer from Fleshtized. Because all the guys like Casey, he'd moved up by you, I guess, with Regurgitation and joined
Well,
them.
he did back then. Actually, I was gonna ask. That was gonna be one of the things I was gonna ask. But since you brought him up, is no, yeah, he moved up here and he joined Regurgitation. But dude, that was like 25 years ago. Like,
Yeah,
what?
yeah,
I don't know where the fuck he lives now. I haven't seen that guy. The last time I saw him was maybe max 2003. In 2003, I would have been 18, and I don't even think it was then. I think I was still a teenager.
yeah. So I don't know him that well. I mean, last I heard he was like tuning pianos or something, but we tried to get Fleshtized back together for a third time with him. And that's that, I think the 2016 demo that you might see on YouTube. It was
I
me.
did. I saw it on Metal Archives when I was looking at us, releasing the Divide and Conquer, the Here Among Thorns, and the first demo, which I never heard, but I YouTubed it. I was like, oh, there's a 2016 demo too. I was like,
Yeah,
I thought they were long done.
maybe it was 2006. I can't,
Wait a minute,
yeah.
it was post Here Among Thorns, and I thought for sure there was nothing after that. I thought the band was done.
Yeah, so we had it was Rob Klein from Pessimist was going to do vocals, and
Oh,
like,
okay.
and I was thinking about, hey man, I need to listen to that again. See, there might have been some cool stuff on it. Like all the 20 years later, nobody has a copy of it. The only way we hear it is on that YouTube. I don't know. I don't know how that happened because I keep everything. I'm a collector of the
Hmm.
stuff. I
Yeah.
keep everything I got, and I do not have it.
See,
So
you're a
I
big Maiden fan. I see you're a big Maiden fan like Seth in the background, talking about collecting everything.
don't. Yeah, yeah, man. That was the first because I started out having like an older brother and an older cousin, and then you're probably listening to like Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood, and then and then it's like Twisted Sister or something like wow. Twisted Sister's awesome. They're like, oh man, that sucks. You ain't heard AC/DC? And be like, oh shit, oh man, that's heavy. That TNTs, just stuff like that would just seem so evil and back then. It's just
Yeah,
weird
yeah.
now. But and older cousins, Black Sabbath. But then, when I got Iron Maiden, that was just basically I just from middle school, I just wore an Iron Maiden shirt like every day to school, and it was just then I started playing guitar then, and then it was Metallica, and it just kept getting heavier and heavier,
Yeah.
and then it was Morbid Angel, and
So
I was gonna check.
Morbid Angel was the first death metal band you heard?
I think the first death metal album I had was Leprosy,
Okay, okay.
and if you don't want to count something weird that, you know, to me that's just like the definition of death metal be Leprosy. there could be stuff that's heavier before that. And this was really funny because talking to Lee Harrison, we had the same experience with Bathory. Like he bought the return like I did. I had my mom buy it for me just because the cover looked cool and it was on Combat Records. So like, hey, I got to check this out. I had other things on Combat, but we thought it said Bathard. You couldn't even read the thing. So
yeah.
And I was just like, oh, and it just scared the crap out of everybody who heard it. We just thought, man, I'm going to get possessed or something listening to this. And Lee Harrison had the same story. I mean, I thought that was wild. I just found that out like 2 weeks ago that he had the same story about that Bathory Return album. That's not really death metal, but so yeah, going back to that. But I brought something out to show, and it was one of the key points in me doing this, like even to this day, was we had I was originally born in Illinois, and then we moved to Mississippi. My dad retired and he owned some land there, but we had relatives in Wisconsin, and we'd go back, and I was already a big Morbid Angel fan. This is like 93. And we happened to be there visiting relatives. And I said, hey, take me to a CD store. Because that's, even to this day, like, hey, look, we're in this town overseas or something. I was like, yeah, where's the CDs? Where's the tape store? Where's the record store? Like they want to go see the sites. And I was like, no, where's the record store? So I go check what that you got. But I found a flyer for the Metal Fest, and Morbid Angel was playing that night. And then, I mean, basically, I had to just like tell one of my cousins, like, I'll do anything you want. I'll give you $100. That it's hard to come by. Yeah. Take me to that, and I went to it. And I still got the flyer or the book for it. I don't think they don't make these anymore.
What was the book? What was it for the show?
Yeah, the Milwaukee Metal Fest program guide. So it had like the lineup, and you sit there and read it and.
So Morbid Angel was playing, but it was at Milwaukee Metal Fest.
Yeah, they played at the Metal Fest, and that was right after Covenant had come out.
So did you attend? Because since it was Milwaukee, I'm pretty sure Milwaukee even back then was at least 2 days, if not 3 days. Did you attend the other days too, or just the day Morbid Angel played?
I just got to go to that one night, and they came back. I think it was Oppressor. It was all on the main stage. I was like stuck there in the front row. Oppressor, then Suffocation, then Morbid Angel, and Motorhead was supposed to play, and they canceled.
Oh no shit. Okay.
But they had come back to pick me up, and I was like, I cannot leave. Morbid Angel isn't playing. I'll walk back 20 miles. I must see this. And back then, I won't say that I was just crazy, but looking back and. Not just for that, but just from the way people felt about, the way I felt about death metal back then was a little bit crazy. And so like, I didn't think it was something, even like with guitar, I didn't think, hey, maybe I should start practicing guitar and I could get good. I just thought this was just like pure, like a fireball that was in your chest, and you just had to get that out. It was not, there was nothing you could do. You just had to. It was like a pure emotional thing. Hey, this might somebody here? Okay, good. We got a guy joining us here.
Scary Gary's here.
Yeah, he's probably pretty pissed at me because we're messing up the time. But
yeah, geez, what the fuck happened, Grandpa? You're fucking late.
Look, I thought it was supposed to be 1 o'clock, so it started about an hour early. My bad, brother.
No, you're good. Plus, it was kind of last. Man, dude, we all suck. He's got the long ways, so you guys are like, his camera, like he's late and he can't figure his goddamn phone out. As far as Kevin at the chubby weight,
is he getting a shot good enough here?
Yeah. Might have to snuggle up a little bit more. He can't get those arms and shoulders in. He's clearly he likes to hit the gym too.
Yes, sir. Always.
What's that dying fetus shirt? Is that a grotesque impalement, or why does that look
Yes, the Not Grotesque. That was the second album.
Oh,
Defiance,
Purification of Violence.
Yeah. Purification Violence, about 98.
98.
Oh, but I never seen that version of it, like that
Oh,
design.
really? This is an
No.
old shirt. This is the original ones from about 98.
So
I
that's
got it
back
at,
what that's before all these freaking posers listen to them.
yeah. I got it at, I think, at Milwaukee Metal Fest, I think 98 that year.
So you agree, like back in the day, listening to Dying Fetus, that was like listening to another like killer underground death metal band. Nowadays, it's almost like it's not embarrassing to say you like Dying Fetus, but you have to clarify because all these
Yeah.
idiots, like all these deathcore fans and shit, like they like them. I'm like, why do you like them, but you don't like all these other death metal bands? Jesus, fuck, you suck, man.
Right. Completely agree.
So you know that too. It's not just me.
No. It's 100%. Yeah, it's across the board for sure.
Okay.
I
Because some
got,
people
I
say
got some,
some people say I'm crazy with my thoughts. So I like this. So when I hear, I get other opinions, and maybe I am wrong. Maybe I am crazy. But
speaking
I
of,
ask opinions the same things. I'm like, I don't know. Maybe it was just me.
No, not at all.
like,
Okay.
speaking of the 98 Metal Fest, I wanted to get this story out because this is actually how we met for the first time. We didn't even know each other, but years later. So I was like the nerd, at the Metal Fest, going to the merch table. I had a little bag of all my stuff that I bought, and then I think it was
Those
Mortician.
Mortician was fun.
Mortician was playing, and I was just watching them, yay! And then some people in the pit are just like slinging each other around. Somebody flies into me, all my shit goes flying in the air, and I got blasted, wiped out on the floor. And anyway, years later, I was like telling him this story, and he was like, "Oh, that was you? We were in there. We saw that."
Dude,
I guess,
it's funny you say that. I have a similar, not like that, but kind of Mortician story. The first time I saw Mortician was in '99, the Chainsaw Dismemberment tour, right? And that's where I first met Zach from Necrofilth, which we end up signing. Really good band. They're especially their demos is fucking awesome, but all their stuff's good. Devil's Breath and all their stuff's great. And I met him at that show. I would have been 14, and I think he was either 15 or 16. And there was like, barely anybody at the show. We were just sitting off at a table, and we were talking about the band Macabre. And he brought them up at that point. I don't even think I heard them. And he was telling me about them. Well, fast forward a few years later, he comes over to our parents' house because our younger brother Craig met him, and he joined his band Crucified Mortals. I'm like, oh, I met this guy. He was at the Tish show. And then now he was in Crucified Mortals, my brother's band. He was then from there he joined Nunslaughter with Craig as well. So Craig, Zach, Don, and Jim were that was the Nunslaughter lineup for several years. So I knew Zach I got to know him very, very well through all this, and then signing the Hell's Headbangers. And then he did an interview on Jabba, Jamming Out All Badass, Francisco's channel. You know who that is, right?
I don't.
Oh, you don't?
No.
I shout him out all the time. Check my shit out, god damn it. They're playing his band Eat the Decay, Killer Grind of Today is playing my Dead by Dog Volume 2, August 30th, god damn it. Next year, that's Francisco. Francisco interviewed Zach and asked him about, when's the first time you met Justin? And he didn't remember that. He's like, oh, I guess so. But so kind of like what you're saying, oh, that was you?
Yeah.
And it was at a Tish show.
Yeah.
But would you actually let me get another opinion on that too? Because I think I asked maybe it was Seth or somebody. Oh, I think it was Baxter, maybe. What was your guys' opinion on Mortician back when you first saw him in the '90s? And what would you say the overall consensus of the band was back then? Because I've given my opinion on the channel. I'm assuming you heard what I've had to say. But again, maybe it was just my view of it, and it was drastically different elsewhere. But my view was nobody gave a shit about the band back then, and if anything, they made fun of them and didn't like them.
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was the heaviest thing that you could do. I didn't think it would ever be topped. I don't know if it has, but and then since I was so into horror movies anyway, and it was just like, yeah, that was one of my favorite bands there for a period. But I grew up in Mississippi, so I didn't know anybody who listened to death metal at all. So I had, besides magazines, I didn't have a clue what other people were into. But Gary might, he had a few other peers that listened to it, might know something.
Yeah, Mortician was I mean, don't get me wrong. I like Will Rahmer. He's a great guy. I've met him several times. Super cool. Yeah, I'm kind of like with you. They when they first started, it was almost kind of like it was almost like a parody of a band, if that makes sense. It's like I think people liked it, but I don't think it was like they liked the music. They liked what he was doing because of like the horror movie aspect and it just being so extreme because it was so over the it was so over the at that particular time it was so over the top, with the drum machine and all that. I mean, the blast beats 300 BPM. I mean, nobody was doing that back then. It's crazy.
Right. Now, what's your take on them blowing up in like it's roughly 2015 is when I started to notice. Like, what was
Yeah.
your take? Were you annoyed by it? Did you care? Like, I was slightly annoyed because I'm like, where were all you posers 20 years ago? I was like, none of you people listen to them.
Yeah, it's kind of like with I mean, same thing too with Incantation. Like Incantation, nobody cared about them forever and ever, and
No,
then all of
yeah,
a sudden they had like this huge resurgence, and everybody started, oh, Incantation, Incantation. I'm like, like what you said, where were you 15, 20 years ago? I mean, I played with those guys several times. I mean, I know McEntee pretty good, but yeah, I mean, it just it's crazy how things that didn't matter 15 or 20 years ago, nobody would even take the time to even, listen to or give it any time. And then 15, 20 years later, they're acting like it's the greatest thing ever, and it's like, okay.
yeah. So okay, so you notice all the same shit too. Then it's not just me.
Yeah.
Like, okay,
Yeah, absolutely.
yeah. What
When
is
they were selling the glasses, the Will Rahmer costumes and stuff, it's like,
Oh, I never
didn't
seen a Will. I never seen
Yeah.
somebody dressing up as Will Rahmer, like it's a
they
Halloween
had, no,
costume.
I think Relapse Records was selling like some kind of Will Rahmer kit with the glasses
Oh,
and some gloves. And
I think somebody
Yeah.
told me about that. I never actually seen it though.
yeah,
Yeah, I saw that. That's true.
Okay. I don't think I've seen one in person though. I don't know who all bought it.
yeah, no.
I
Gary,
don't
were
think
you
that.
there? Was it the year? Because I know Fleshtized played Ohio Death Fest. One of the years I was at. Was that the
Mhm.
same year Mortician played? Do you remember? Because Mortician headlined one of them. Oh
Yes,
one. Oh,
yes, I believe that was the same year. I would have been on drums with Fleshtized that particular year.
you would have been. Yeah, you were.
Mhm. Yeah, I was.
Because are you on all the stuff, the demo, Divide and Conquer, and Here Among Thorns? Are you on everything or?
Yeah, Fleshtized. I played drums on everything on all the albums.
So then, what? Matt and I were talking a little bit before. He said he didn't know him that well. I'm assuming he knew him a little bit better than me because I haven't talked to him in 25 years. What happened to Casey then? Like, what's he up to?
Uh, Trying to kind of going to be political a little bit, just because
Okay.
Casey went through some rough times in his life, and he
Mhm.
kind of long story short, the last year we played Ohio Death Fest, it was right before Here Among Thorns came out, and he like literally quit like after that show. That was the last show we played with him, and
Mhm.
he was going through a lot of personal stuff in his life, and just he was not doing well. Now I talked to him a little bit. We've got back to where we maybe text like maybe a couple, 2 or 3 times a year.
Okay.
I actually grew up with him. We went to like middle school and high school together. And yeah, he went through just a very dark period in his life where he was going just through a lot of personal stuff, dealing with a lot of stuff. And just, we had kind of I mean, it was some things that were going on with him, but he and I had kind of a falling out at the Ohio Death Fest over some things that had happened. And yeah, it kind of sucked because, like I said, when Here Among Thorns first came out, I mean, we were getting a lot of offers to do a lot of cool things. And I felt like that album was actually going to do well and was probably going to push us forward. And
Mhm.
yeah, and he left, and things just kind of it downward spiraled from there. I mean, like we had different versions of the band, and I kind of tried to keep it going, but it was never the same. I couldn't keep anything, solid or solidified or anything.
Who do you think who was considered like the main guy of Flesh Ties, or was it all of you? Was there considered like a you can't do it without him type of deal? Was there anybody?
Um, Probably. I mean, as far as like the spokesperson, the one that did like a lot of the interviews, did a lot of the business and stuff like that. It was probably Garth, the bass
Okay.
player. He I mean, it wasn't one of those things to where like he took it over. We kind of gladly let him have it because he enjoyed doing that. He
Mhm.
was kind of the politician of the band, if you would
Yeah.
say, and he enjoyed doing all the interaction, you know, making sure this, making sure that. So just it was one of those things. I was like, man, if you want to do it, just have at it. You know, I would rather you do it than, and he did a pretty good job at it. So yeah, we would kind of just let
That
him
makes
handle
sense. I
things.
think a lot of people they fall in a role because even like Hell's Headbangers, that's kind of how we are in a sense. Each position just
Mhm.
kind of fell into place. It's like, oh, you're willing to do that position? Oh, great, good. Because either I didn't know how to do it or I didn't want to do it. Hell, even kind of with
Right.
this, even with this channel, a lot of people think like I'm the nuts and bolts of Hell's Headbangers. Not I'm sure Sea Dog laughs his ass off. He's like that elaborate Packer. Fuck, he want to survive a day in the captain's chair. You know, I'm kicked around like a tomato can right here. A lot of decisions. I was like, all it is I was willing to start a channel. They're kind of like, great. Any exposure is great for the company. Go ahead, because I don't want to fucking do it. I guarantee both Eric and Chase are like, fuck that. I don't. Well, I know they think that. Like, I don't want to do no fucking stupid channel. I don't. But fuck that. So if he's willing to, well, fuck it. Let him do it. So kind of the same thing.
Yeah. So he always did a pretty good job with that, and plus he enjoyed doing it. It was something he was actually passionate about. So yeah, we just kind of stepped back and would let him, you know, let him do that, and I was fine with it. Like I said, he did a good job doing it, and he was I mean, you know, always dependable when it came to doing things like that. He was always fair. So yeah, it worked out. It worked out well for the way it was set up.
But like Casey now, like where does he live? Because he was living up here in Ohio a little bit, and that's when he joined Regurgitation. And I would see him. We talked multiple times. But I mean, the last time I seen him was well over 20 years ago.
Yeah, yeah, as far as I know, he's still, I don't know exactly where he's at now. I think he's still up in Ohio. I just don't know
Oh,
exactly
okay.
where. He was having some like I said, I'm trying to not get too personal with him. I know he's having some health issues that he was
Mhm.
going through. And but the last time that I spoke with him, which it's probably been some months ago, and like I said, it was only text. We didn't actually talk on the phone or anything. He said that he was doing better. He was doing really well. I mean, he seems to be in like a really good headspace now. He's got his life straightened out. I know that he's married. Um, he's not doing a lot with music. I know that he's got some things that he's like written, and I think he's put up on like his Facebook page, but like nothing, you know, extreme, or he's not like trying to get out there and play with bands or anything like that. I think he's just happy now, living like a normal life.
Yeah. So do you think he still likes metal at all then, or he's just completely
Yeah,
out of it?
yeah, yeah. He still likes metal, and I mean anybody that knew him, he was kind of from a shred background also. Like he was real big when we were growing up. He was into like all the shrapnel stuff, the really good guitar players and stuff. I mean, Casey was a really good guitar player. He's really good. But and then I was kind of the one that brought him over into the death metal realm of things. Or we kind of both evolved into it, but I was the one that kind of pushed forward. I kept wanting to get heavier and heavier because like the first like Fleshtized demo, I mean if you listen to it, it's kind of I mean it kind of it's almost like cynic-esque sort of it had kind of some more fusion sound and stuff to it. It was more melodic, death sounding, and then like as we progressed and we went along, it kept just getting heavier and heavier. And
Yeah, no, I
then
know exactly because I didn't hear the demo back in the day. Alls I have is the Divide and Conquer CD and the Hair Among Thorns. And then actually it was on the channel when I brought it up and I was talking about doing stuff on vinyl. I was like, oh, they have a demo too. I was like, from there, I checked it out on YouTube. So I'm a total newbie too. I'm like, oh, it's a little different. I was like, it's could be kind of cool to include. I was like, my mindset, I was like, if you're to do an LP of like Divide and Conquer, maybe put it on the B side because it's an EP. So that way you can sell it's now a full length album. Like why not? If it can fit, which it would. I was like, and
right,
then do Here Among Thorns just as its own separate vinyl. Garth emailed me back like ages ago because he saw the email and
okay,
he's just like, yeah, well, what do you guys offer? And I'm like, I mean, I don't know, like usually something a band like that, like 20% of the copies. I was like, say we press the CD of them, maybe like a maybe 2-on-1 CD. I'm just spitballing here, or could do a CD of each. Yeah, maybe a CD of each. Here Among Thorns. I mean, Divide and Conquer plus a demo CD plus then a Here Among Thorns CD, 1,000 of each, and then probably 500 of each LP. I was like, I don't know, 20% of each. So what is that? 100 LPs, 200 CDs. He never replied. So I don't know if that means take a hike, bro. I was thinking 10 grand.
uh, I would in this business I would like to think that he didn't think that, but
Right. Dude, I'm not saying he did, but there's people that do. Dude, you would laugh your ass off because you'd be like, even you'd be like, who? There was a band here
Right.
from Cleveland. I won't say them out for political reasons. There's a band from Cleveland here that years ago we talked about doing their stuff. That, keep in mind, never done an album, nothing. And anyone outside of Cleveland would be like, who? I'm like, right. It's kind of who, even if you lived in Cleveland. And to do their demos, like, yeah, I want 10 grand. 10 grand, bro. I'm like, I'm giving you 0 shekels. It's you get copies. It's like nobody knows who the fuck you are.
Right. Yeah, there's a lot of people that get into death metal and stuff like that, and just their idea is so skewed of how it really is. And especially back in the day, you know, like when it was really just starting to get, you know, some foundation up under it. I mean, people don't understand. I mean, yeah, there were bands, you know, you had the Morbid Angels, the Deicides, all that, you know, that kind of went upper echelon and made, you know, decent money. I mean, you have Cannibal Corpse, it's still going today, of course, but yeah, they don't realize like how hard it is to try to make any type of money in this industry, or, you know,
Yeah,
doing
no,
death
100%.
metal. Yeah, I mean, death metal is pretty much, I mean, you better be probably doing it because you love it, you know.
Yeah.
It's
The funny thing is
definitely
now is the avenues, technically, obviously, there's bands that are making money and living off it in death metal, and the avenues are there with social media. The problem is
Right.
now it is technically, it's back to kind of like square one. It's the resources are there to make it easier than ever to get a recording out and to promote it and to quote unquote make money. But it's harder than ever because there's more bands than ever that it's hard to just get your name out there without being overlooked.
Right. Yeah, YouTube and all that. I mean, that opened up a completely different avenue. I mean, back when we first started, you know, we didn't have things like that.
No,
I
yeah,
mean, it's you know, you have people now that, I mean, you've got, you know, Billboard hits that you know, they're strictly YouTube artists. They don't even have
I
I
know.
mean, they do everything themselves, you know. I mean, that's crazy.
That's totally crazy. Yeah,
And
I
then
don't
back
even
in
get,
go ahead.
what's that?
I was going to say, it always strikes me back and you read these books about, you know, like Swedish death metal bands or something. It's like, yeah, we sold 5,000 copies of our cassette demo. I dubbed in my mom. And it's like, now you got all this stuff, but like Chaos Inception, you know, we only print 500 copies of our CD and just still
Mhm.
like trying to get rid of them. It's like, nobody
No,
buys.
dude, the thing is like you probably feel like completely out of that. I mean, to be honest with you, that still goes on with some of our releases, Hells. I mean, as we grow, it's less and less, but we press stuff all the time to where, dude, 95% of all bands, we press only 1,000 CDs, 500 LPs, right? And a
Yeah.
standard band, especially if it's a newer band, the CD will take 3 to 5 years to move all 1,000, but that's with us.
Yeah.
So if you're just doing it with no label, no distro, yeah, I can imagine that's just the norm. That's the way it is, you know? So when some people see like some numbers like, oh, this band, you know, you move 2,000 discs in a year, I'm like, yeah, but that's not the norm, homie. Like, like that's
Yeah.
abnormal. That's considered like, holy fuck, this is great. You
Yeah.
know?
Of course, we know that you know, if we're not going on tour and not doing videos but you know, I guess we kind of feel like we don't expect that we're going to make money at this point, or we just, if we could break even, that would be
Yeah.
great. If we
Yeah.
could get rid of all our stuff, you know, but you know, that's helped with Hell's, you know, taking the CDs, because I saw that I think you're almost sold out of them already. The
Definitely
15.
sold some because I was like, fuck yeah, when they went up, I was like, hell yeah, see that they're selling. Because he had Sea Dog. Dude, I love classic Sea Dog, man, because again, I can't tell too much behind the scenes, just in general, a lot of stuff. But he's famous for fucking forwarding me an email. What the fuck? This customer's talking shit on Instagram, says you never replied to him, which is never the case. What it is he messaged us like a complete fucking newbie dumbass on Instagram. We don't do customer service on Instagirl, brah. I've never even seen Hell's Headbangers Instagirl. I was like, it's service@hellsheadbangers.com. You email that. But anyways, if it's on Instagirl, Dog sees it. What the fuck? Ignoring customers? Didn't reply to this guy. But then you send me an email. What the fuck? Dog never replied to us. And you're not the first person to tell me that. Trust me, it's double digits of people that tell me that shit. But if I call them out, no reply. I'm like, it's totally okay. I'm like, what the fuck? You know what I mean?
Yeah, so I thought it would, if we could get it in there, that it would sell. I mean, we got some to Nuclear War Now, and this is just me doing it because the label is overseas, you know, Lava Dome Records, and they didn't trade with anybody in the U.S. And I foresaw that as a big problem, and it is. And so Yeah, it was just great that you guys took it. And I watch your show like almost every day just on my drive to work. I got like a
Mhm.
20-minute drive. So it's just busting balls. I'm not really upset at C-Dot. I
No,
don't,
me neither. To me, it's just all. I get it. I know. I get it. Maybe he saw it and like, oh, I don't know. Like, let me know what to try and trade. I never heard of this band. It could have been that. I get it. It's just hilarious because like I said, he'll be the first one to call. I was like, homie, I don't fucking delete emails. Everybody gets replied to with me. I was like, if I didn't reply, it's two scenarios. One, I didn't get it, motherfucker. So send it again. Two, I did reply. He just didn't like the answer. I'll give you a prime fucking scenario. Somebody's like, where's my pack at? I sent them their, it's usually overseas. Here's your tracking number. They didn't like that answer because that was the tracking and it says the link. I was like, why would you think I know where it's at, bro? This is the tracking. I'm not USPS. They know where it's at. Well, yeah. What do they say? This is what they say. I have the same info as you have. They just didn't like the goddamn answer. So it's like, no. You got to reply. You just didn't like what it had to say. That's on them, dude.
yeah, I mean, as a collector, and I sell stuff all the time too, you used to have to fund the band with that. Like, hey, I need a new guitar, I need a new amp. So I go through my CDs. This one, I sell this for $80. And I've sold tons of stuff, but I kept a lot too. But
Yeah.
I still get that too with where's my package? And it's just like where the tracking number. But there have been some weird things with tracking now where it just doesn't. They have it, but it says, oh, we don't have it, and then it shows up the next
No,
day.
that does happen, and I understand why they're pissed. I'm like, dude, all we got to do is wait it out. And I was like, here's the fucking hilarious part. Hell's takes on the chin for everybody these days. If you don't get it, we resend. So there's nothing to be pissed. I was like, but I'm not going to wait 10 days because you're an anxious fucking 5-year-old on Christmas and can't wait a little bit. Back in the goddamn old days, man, you ordered something overseas. It was, especially if they shipped it by boat, economy, it was get cozy, brah. It's 2 months. That's what they told you. 6 to 8 weeks, bro. That was the norm. Now these kids, if it's 10 days, they're shitting bricks. God damn. Spoiled as fuck.
Yeah.
You'll have this younger generation. We've talked about it, laughed about it before. We play shows. We have shirts and CDs and merch for sale and everything, and they'll come up like asking you to give them stuff. It's like,
really? Oh, really?
yeah, it's like, guys, it's like, this cost us money. It cost us money to be here. We are a band. We don't make much money. If you support us, you like us, buy our stuff.
Yeah.
I mean,
Dude,
we're
I've
from the
never
old
in my
school.
entire life.
That's how you did it in the old school.
Yeah, dude, I've never in my entire life done that. Even owning Hell's Headbangers prior to it ever. Know the guys, don't know the guys. I've never gone up to a band and asked for something for free. Now, people have given me shit for free, of course, but that's because they offer. I was like, I've never point blank, hey, can I have it for free? And I never pulled this either. Hey, can I get a discount? What's the hookup rate? The hookup rate is the price on the fucking goddamn site, homeboy. That's the hookup rate.
Right.
Like the shirt's going to cost at least like 10. I mean, this was years ago, $9-10 years ago, but and that's just with a logo on it. And then there's like, hey, I got $5. It's like, what, I'm paying you to take my stuff away. I mean,
right.
You want to be nice and everything, but it's just if they don't know the deal, they think, hey, these guys are rock stars or something. It's like, oh no, that's not it.
No, yeah, it's one thing if example, if it was Corpse Grinder or something that wanted one, I would just give it to him. Even if he wanted a Hell's Headbanger shirt, I wouldn't charge him. Like, I'll just give it to you, especially if you're gonna wear it. Like, yeah, of course, I'm giving it to you. But some random fucking T-boner, I'm not just no, homie, it's $20.
Yeah, I feel like that whole mentality started with that younger group when that whole Napster thing started. Just get people's music for free. Download it for free. Don't pay for it. Don't buy a CD. And now everybody's pissed off and bitching because they have to pay $200, $300, $400 for a ticket to go see a band. And it's like, well, the band has got to make money. The money's going to be made one way or the other. If you don't want to buy the CD, you want to download it for free, they're going to get you somewhere else. It's like, I mean, it's a business. I mean, business has got to make money. It's got to make revenue.
Yeah. Yeah, it blows my mind how different it is too, because obviously me doing my fest now, I'm just now getting into the putting on shows. Granted, Hell's Headbangers did with the Hell's Head Bash that we did a couple of those. But Eric and Chase mostly managed that. But nonetheless, even then it was cheaper. It's just amazing, like kind of what bands ask for nowadays. And I get it. Because even me, if someone's asking like I'm not gonna lose money, homie. I at least want travel, and I get why they want what they want. But 20 years ago or so, it's funny because even like talking to Baxter for like Ohio Death Fest, hell, maybe you guys can clarify what you got. Oh no, bro! A lot of the bands they played for free, or just no, just give them a room to stay at. They crash with some buds. I'm like, what do you mean they played for free? Like that. That's if when the more and more I asked about it, like Incantation back in the day, they got $200.
Yeah.
$200. I was like, I don't see Incans books. I don't know what they get paid, but I'd be willing to bet money that even when they're on tour, they're not getting off the couch for any less than $2,000 a night. I would bet money on that.
Yeah, probably especially now, if not more. But
Yeah.
yeah, but I think the first 2 years we played Ohio Death Fest, I think we got paid in weed.
Yeah,
And
I think he said that too. No, bro, just we'd find friends where they could just crash there, give them some weed, and they're good. I was
right,
like, nobody I'm asking if that's not the deal. I can tell you that right now.
and what was so funny about it was like at that particular time, like Casey was like the only one that smoked weed in the entire band. Like, I mean, so I mean, we essentially did it for free, you know.
Yeah. Now, I'm kind of curious because I never got to ask any bands that were in that situation. Your guys' mentality back then, when you were basically doing a show for free, why in your mind did you even agree to that? Because is it just because you were young and enthusiastic? Because like me as an adult, I'm not in a band, but if somebody asked me, I'm like, well, dude, no, I mean, I'm not driving 12 hours for free, no gas, nothing. And I'm a grown ass man. I was like, I need to be compensated. I mean, I'm not asking for $10,000, but you like
Right.
what was your incentive to do it for free? Like I've
Uh, to do things like the slaughter, like, playing Ohio Death Fest or something like that. Just getting your name out there, recognition, getting in front of people that have never seen you before, selling your product, letting people see you and know about you.
That's what I figured. But was in the back of your mind, especially if you'd never been there yet, was it in the back of your mind, okay, we're doing this for free, and if it's a great turnout, then yes, it's a good way of marketing our name. But what if it's a flop? What if there's 20 people there? Because there were I remember some of the Metal Mom Fest in Detroit. I've been to some, and I was like, where the fuck is everybody? Like there was nobody there.
Yeah, yeah. There's been some of those. I mean, for the most part, most of the like festivals that we would usually get on and play, we knew that they would at least have a decent turnout. I mean, we kind of knew, and we had been to them, and we knew what they were about.
Okay.
If it was somebody that we had never worked with before or something like that, we might would like attend, go to the festival before we actually agreed to play it. Because, like you said, I mean, what good is it going to do you to drive 10, 12 hours and then you show up and play in front of three people? I mean,
Right.
you could have done that 30 minutes down the road.
Exactly. Right.
But
Yeah.
even to this day, I would say like if I go somewhere like Monstrosity just got uh announced for the MDF pre-show, and like I would play that. Don't tell Lee or anything, but I would play that for free, just because I get a trip to MDF, watch
No,
the
I
other
get that.
bands.
Same here. If I was in a band too, especially if I was in a new band, me personally, if I was a new band, any fest, MDF, Milwaukee, I'd play for free for exposure, 100%. I get that. Um, but yeah, if it's just some
But
bullshit where it's like you weren't sure. Um,
well, as long as if you got your travel paid for, that's really not free. But if they
yeah,
paid
no,
me zero, I'd be okay with that. If
yeah,
they paid for the travel.
yeah.
Just don't tell Lee that.
You guys would never played MDF, have you?
No,
No,
we
we've
didn't.
we've opened with biggest shows we've done. We opened for Cannibal a few times. Wasn't that it?
Yeah, I was
How
like
was
the
that
big.
like? So you guys open for Cannibal because that's one of the recommendations I give to new bands. I'm like, try to do this. Anything within a 6 to 8 hour drive. Any of the notable bands: Cannibal, Deicide, Morbid Angel, Suffocation, Obituary, Immolation, Incantation. Try to open up for those bands anywhere within a 6 to 8 hours drive and offer to play for free just to get in front of those crowds because there's gonna be a crowd.
Mhm.
So
Yeah,
with you
absolutely.
guys playing in front of Cannibal, would you say it did help? Like you got people bought merch and shit like that
Oh,
that night?
Oh yeah, 100%. I mean, the shows that we played with them, that last one we played in Birmingham, that was a great show. We sold a bunch of merchandise.
Yeah, that's what I paid. So I figured.
And the guys at Cannibal, I mean, we didn't get paid, of course, but they were fucking awesome. I mean, like we had a rider I mean, they gave us like beer. We had, you know, a backstage area. I mean, they treated us very well.
Oh, nice.
Alex Webster's a great guy. He really is.
Super cool guy. I think Alex, he might actually remember me. Well, he says he actually said in text. As we met him
Yeah,
several times. He was always extremely cool.
yeah. If he meets you, usually like a couple of times, Alex is really, really good. Like he'll remember you, and he'll come up to you, remember your name. He's a very down to earth guy. Like there's no ego with him. I mean, he's like one of the coolest guys I've ever met. He was always very, very good to us. I've got literally nothing bad to say about that dude. The Cannibal guys were always great to us every time we interacted with him.
Dude, it's funny because when we first started Hell's Headbangers, it was probably about a year after we started, or at least a year after we did our first release, which was the Spawn of Satan Bloodsick CD. And then when that was out, maybe it was a 6 months to a year after the CD was out, met guys in Cannibal for I think the third time, and it was at the Detroit show on the Gore Obsessed tour.
Mm.
And went up to Alex, and we gave him one of the CDs, and we're like, "Hey, Alex, we just put this out as our label." Again, we met him already a couple times, so he already remembered us as the brothers. Yeah, so we put this out. Ours just started a label. We put this out. It's like this the main band Spawn of Satan. I was like, it's Jim Sadis from a band called Nunslaughter. Don't know if you ever heard him. He's like, oh yeah, Don Crotchley's band from the '80s. I'm like, oh, you know who Nunslaughter is? So yeah, I got their demo. Man, when I told Don of the Dead that, I thought his fucking head was gonna explode. Oh yeah, he's like, because he would have never guessed. He's like, Cannibal guys don't know who the fuck Nunslaughter is, but he knew him. He even knew Don by first and last name. I was like, I was shocked that he knew that. Like, I was like, oh shit, this guy actually kind of did partake in the underground. Like, he was writing Nunslaughter back in the goddamn demo days. Like, oh shit.
And
Yeah, Alex is a great guy. I mean, I've literally never had a bad experience with him, and I've met him several times, hung out with him several times. He's probably, in my opinion, he's probably one of the coolest guys in death metal. I would say.
didn't he wear the shirt one time? I know we've given him a few.
Yeah. He was at I can't remember what that was at. He was at some big. It was a pretty big event, and yeah, he had on a Chaos Conception T-shirt, so that was pretty cool.
I guess you guys aren't going to know the answer to this, but if you had a guess, because you've been in the scene for a while, and hell, I overlooked it too. Why do you think bands like Chaos Inception, which by anyone's definition, nobody would listen to if they're fans of, again, Fleshtized, Centurion, Morbid Angel, especially Morbid Angel. If you like Morbid Angel style death metal, nobody would listen to be like, this sucks. Everybody would be like, either this is really good, or like it's pretty good background. That'd be the worst case scenario. But why is it that you guys, especially since you've been around since quite a while now, well, over 15 years now? To 2008, 2007, right?
Yeah.
Why is it you think you guys got like very little notoriety? Hell, it even went past me. Like when other bands just as good a quality or less are around less time and maybe get more notoriety. What do you think that is? Like,
I think it's the schedule that we've kept. We've had a lot of problems, lineup changes, and we've had so long between albums. And then maybe the other thing is not having a guy like we were talking about Garth, the guy in the band that it's also promoting. You know, we have people that say, hey, you pay me $1,000, I'll promote it. We're like, we'll just put it out and let the people decide whether they like it or not. And so we're just not big time salesmen. We're just like kind of isolated and just doing it. And as of now, you know, this is the band right here. It's us. And
oh, it's just the two of you? Well, I was going to ask that because on the scene, the newest album, which I think that's the best thing, because you sent me the earlier album too, because you guys got 3 albums, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So 2 out of 3 I have. I thought the newest one, because I listened to the other 2 parts of them on YouTube and I liked them. I was like, but this is a band kind of like Satanic War Master and Immortal after their second record. Very few bands get better with albums, and I thought you guys felt like, I was like, oh, their newest album, this is the best one. I was like, and that's rare. Usually it's first album, this is great. Second album, like, yeah, it's pretty good. Third album, like, this fucking sucks. That's usually the way it goes. You know what I mean? For a lot of bands.
Yeah, there's a lot of bands they don't progress as they go along. We try to, you know, to every extent that we possibly can, try to make, you know, each album a little bit better or a little bit different, something different about it, something better about it. It was also nice too, you know, the newest album, I didn't play drums on, I only did vocals on the newest album. So Kevin Parody did the drums on this last album, so that was really nice too.
Now, why
He's
why is that? Why was that?
a couple of reasons. I got really bad carpal tunnel, like horrible carpal tunnel.
Okay.
And it was one of those things, in order for me to practice the amount I needed to practice to be able to perform the way I needed to perform, it was just causing me issues. And I just decided to, we lost, our vocalist and our bass player left. And I've always done vocals here and there. And I just decided, I told him, I was like, man, let's just get somebody else to do the drums. I mean, it wasn't like a bow out. I wasn't trying to, look for an easy way out, but it's just, well, the issues I was having, I wanted to put out a quality product, and I felt like I wasn't going to be able to put out a quality product with the issues I was having. So I just decided to get somebody else to do it and do the vocals, because I was interested in doing the vocals anyway. Like I said, I've done vocals for other bands and stuff. So
Now,
just
is
kind
that
of
a, is that a, per,
kind
is
of
that a
shit.
permanent thing? Is that a permanent thing? Like you're no longer doing drums because you physically can't?
Probably. I mean, yeah, just because, like I said, the carpal tunnel is pretty bad. I can't practice the way that I need to practice in order to be able to perform, those songs. Because I mean, playing like that, it requires a lot of time, and that's another thing too. Is just as we moved along. I mean, he and I mean, I guess I should speak more for myself. I work a lot. I have a lot going on in my life. And just dedicating, hours upon hours upon hours to practice is just very difficult and very hard for me.
Yeah, I can imagine. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, have you done any shows then since you stopped doing drums? And if so, what do you do? Do you just get on stage and you just have a microphone like a corpse grinder, or how do you handle
Yeah.
shows?
Yeah, we haven't done a show with me on vocals yet, but I mean, if and when we do a show, yeah, it'll just be me doing vocals. I'll just be a vocalist.
So theoretical, what would it be? 2020, so 2026, Dead by Dog, August 1st, God damn it. Tickets going up soon.
Yeah,
Assuming
he
that's
had mentioned.
successful.
I mean, he had mentioned that. I mean,
So,
possibly.
yeah, so assuming that's successful when I do the part 3 in 2027, and I hit you guys up, hey, I want Chaos Inception to play. What would let's just say you guys were interested. What would be the lineup then? Like, what would be the full on stage lineup? Like, who do you even know, or are you like we'd have to figure it out?
Well, here's the thing, like he's talking about, and even the old days with Fleshtized with him and Casey, that's why I say when I moved into the situation, these guys were so far beyond me because they practice 6, 7, 8 hours a day. Just personally, that's what you have to do to be able to do that, and you could, Gary's got the carpal tunnel now. It's from all those years of doing it. And we can't find anybody that can do that. Like, honestly, because Monstrosity toured with Origin. I said, hey, you know what? If we do one show with Chaos Inception, I'm going to call John Longstress and hire him to play this one show. I think it'd probably be worth it, but I don't think we're going to find anybody who can play the drums on this.
Yeah.
You'd have to pay somebody who is a professional.
Yeah,
Yeah,
locally,
probably.
like locally, our area, we have a lot of people that are into metal. We have a lot of people that are into it. Huntsville actually used to have a really big death metal scene, believe it or not. A lot of people don't believe that, but we did. But we didn't have people that could play at that caliber, as to what we were doing. So, and it's hard to find people that are near you that can do that.
Well, did you ever look up that, Gary? Did you ever look into possible surgery for the carpal tunnel, or have you got any scans or MRIs of how bad it is? Maybe you could fix it with healing peptides like BPC, TB500, things like that.
Yeah, actually, being on TRT helped a whole lot, and also too, I went carnivore. I started doing carnivore. Carnivore has helped with a lot of inflammation and stuff.
Okay, so it sounds like a lot of it's for inflammatory then. Have you ever tried the 2 healing peptides, the BPC 157 and TB500?
I have not. I've heard a lot of really good things about them. I've actually heard you talk about them just a little bit.
I'm currently I don't like to. It's not that I don't like. It's just I don't like to speak anything into existence because I don't know how it's going yet without seeing labs. But I'm actually, because I've used them. I've always had them on hand. And to be honest with you, for me personally, for injuries and like aches and pains, I never noticed a difference with them. But I still have them on hand and I use them because if you look at the research and the medical studies, it's extremely good for just healing everything in the body. We're talking the heart, the kidneys, the gut, especially the gut. So I keep it in there as like a super health peptide, right? And so I have, bottles on hand. And our youngest cat, he's in stage 3 kidney failure.
Oh,
So
wow.
I started giving him injections of BPC and TB 500, 250 micrograms of each, which is considered
Mm,
a low dose for a human. Generally
mm,
speaking, if you're trying to heal an injury like what you have, it'd be
right.
500 of each twice a day, first thing in the morning and before bed. I'm just giving him 250 micrograms once per day in the first thing in the morning, and I'm giving him 10 milligrams of glutathione, which is all in one injection. It's just a number 15 on the insulin pen.
Hmm.
And we're gonna get his blood work redone in a couple more weeks. But dude, I can tell you right now, the way he's acting and all his symptoms, his two main symptoms, the reason we took him to get his labs done is he wasn't eating, and you could just tell he was just laying completely lethargic and losing weight. His weight's going back up. He's eating like he's normal, and his energy is through the fucking roof like it was normal. And this is just in 2 weeks in.
Wow.
Now, keep in mind, like on the rodent models, that's why BPC and TB500 are mainly known for shit like you have and injuries. But it's on rodent models that it shows that there is evidence that it can heal, and then it has. There's reports it has healed the kidneys, and also there's
Mhm.
reports that it's healed people in heart failure. Now, granted, those are
Wow.
anecdotal, and it's not known for that. So, well, we'll find out, dude. If I come back because his creatinine, which is one of the measurements of kidney function, was like a
Mhm.
5.4, I think it was, which is fucking terrible. If
Yeah,
it comes
that's bad.
back down, if it comes back to even in the twos, because the animal range, at least the measurements they were using, normal, I think was like 1.2 to 2.0. Generally
Mm.
speaking, for the humans, the cutoff is like 1.3. So it's a slightly higher on animals. If it even come back at 2.5, because we're taking to a specialist too, he's on other medications that they prescribed. I think the doctor's going to shit his pants, but like, this is literally amazing. And if that's the case, I'm literally going to tell him what I'm doing. Hey, I implemented these, like, just so you know, like, maybe you might want to recommend in your practice, like, because technically speaking, you're not allowed to do that. However, these peptides, you can easily get them. They're not illegal. They're just gray area.
Right.
You get them as research chemicals, but the way the companies have to sell them is it's not for human consumption. So
Assumption.
so
Yeah.
actually, the funny thing is, what I'm doing right now is technically the proper way. You're actually supposed to give them to your pets and animals and lab, quote unquote, lab rats. You know what I
Right.
mean? But everyone's just using them on themselves. So I was like, so the first time ever, I'm actually using them for proper use. I'm using it literally on my cat to try to heal them. And again, I didn't want to say too much because I didn't want to speak into existence, because we could get his labs and it could just be coincidence that he's acting normal. But I was like, I don't know, that's a hell of a coincidence, because dude, he was a lethargic bag of shit for like 2 weeks straight. And he wouldn't eat. He would like take 2 bites and walk away. Now he's finishing all his food like normal, because when you're in kidney failure, you lose your appetite.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so we'll see. But with yourself, because especially if you notice a difference off TRT and going carnivore, that tells me it's inflammatory. BPC and TB500 are very anti-inflammatory. If I was you, hit up the dog. I'll give you for free a good source. I would take
Yeah.
500 microgram. I would take 500 micrograms of each morning and evening. It might. I know guys, like, for their injuries, like tears and aches, they swear by it. Like, dude, it's gone, like completely gone within a couple weeks.
I definitely would love to try it for sure.
Yeah, because it can't hurt. Because the thing is that those are natural peptides that our body produces. It's kind of like, think about like growth hormone and insulin. Those are
Hmm.
peptides, right? But they're bioidentical hormones. All you're doing is taking it in a quantity that's higher than your body could ever produce, just like
Right.
testosterone. Your body
Yeah.
produces testosterone. It's just when you take an injection, the sky's the fucking limit. BPC and TB500, like, you kind of can't take too much. If you do, you're just kind of wasting it. It doesn't seem like it has any negative effects at all if you take too much. So that's another. It's kind of got like a safety net in there. I've never heard of anybody having a side effect or anything bad whatsoever.
Yeah, I'll definitely hit you up. I'm definitely interested in that for sure.
Yeah,
Because
because dude, we might be able to get you back on drums. The dog might
I
be
have,
able to heal you back up, and you're back on the set. 2027, Dead by Dog, tearing it up.
I like I said, if it could make it happen, I'm all for it.
Get back on the skins, right?
Yeah. But
Well, Matt, then how did you were kind of saying it before Gary walked in. You obviously met them through Fleshtized, and like, how did that all did the Chaos Inception like come straight? Because basically he didn't want to say much, but Casey quit, and a Chaos Inception like basically formed right from there from day one. And you guys, because you already knew each other, how did that all go down then?
Now, I was in another band and we did a lot of shows together, and he was in this Convergence from Within. I was in the thrash band, but I mean, just like you, I know like some of the most hated stuff for me is like Testament and Forbidden, and this is what this band was doing. And every night I was just like, oh God, no, you know, just we're getting blown away every night because they're playing like Morbid Angel style stuff in Convergence from Within.
Yeah.
And so I just started pestering Gary. You know, we got to be friends, and I'm like, hey man, we need to get a band. And he's like, you need practice some more. and so then I started getting serious. You know, I started like, hey man, what's this metronome stuff you're talking about? Like that. You know, I started like thinking about really playing guitar then, and they had this guy named Sonny Lombardozzi.
Yeah, he
Right.
played with Incantation for a long time.
He was with Incantation, but they had started getting Fleshtized back, and they had the Sonny guy who was like a super shredder like Casey, you know, just playing crazy guitar. And we did a show, and then we did another show, and somehow he couldn't make it, and then I had to play lead. And so that really busted my ass. But eventually just everybody else fell off. And this is like, you know, I'm not like, some people are doing some things that are from the scene, but in some ways, you know, we're the last couple of guys standing here. And but having said that too, Gary has not, you know, completely stopped playing drums, because when we get I said we were going to rehearse today, but another band from Huntsville, Quinta Essentia, we're playing those songs. Just, you know, we got an album coming out. It's also on Lava Dome, you know. And
What album was on? It was on McAtee's label, wasn't it?
well, it was on Deathgasm.
You didn't have an album on Ibex Moon?
No, it was Deathgasm Records out of Atlanta.
Okay, because
But
we had
yeah,
it in stock. We
so
had
much
it in
business.
stock, and I didn't know anything about it until you brought
Yeah.
up. Because again, just another thing I saw in stock, and I thought it was because we got a bunch of Ibex Moon from McAtee. I think I don't remember what the fuck it was. He gave us the rest of stock or really cheap. It was a bunch of like, oh man, 500. Who is this band? He gave us 500 copies. God damn, man, you're taking up my whole shop. It was that type of deal.
Yeah,
I thought that was one of them, but I could be mistaken. Maybe it was another Q band that he did, because you don't see too many bands with a goddamn Q.
right. But yeah, that band's been around a while. I think there's like 4 albums out, and it's not Chaos Inception. Like, I don't think you would like it as much, but it's really good, and it's just not as intense when playing it. You know, just because Chaos Inception, Fleshtized, that's just over the top, just beyond. You're gonna hurt yourself. And I'll give you another example. I played on that Diabolic album. And I want to talk to you about that peptide shit too, because I played on that album. It was so damn fast. My back was hurting for 6 months after I recorded that thing. I mean, can you believe that? Playing guitar, I felt like a hunchback. That set Mausoleum of the Unholy Ghost. I played on that, all the rhythm guitars, and it almost killed me. People don't understand.
I mean, again, like I know guys that swear by it. They're like, yeah, they healed their back. Again, for injury type shit, I did not notice anything with it. I just keep it in there. But I know tons of guys who I actually trust their word, that I know they're not bullshitting, that they swear by it. They're like, dude, it's a miracle that heals you the way it does. And on paper, it does. I mean, the BPC, it literally stands for the name. That's the scientific name. It stands for body protection compound. That's what it is. That's what it means. So it's possible, yeah, it could heal your goddamn old man back up. Because how old are you, Gary? You're a little bit older, right?
Actually, we're the same age. We're both 48.
Oh, okay. I was thinking you're a couple
I
years
thought I
older.
was 47 earlier.
You thought you were 47 early? No, you're 48.
God, does he know his own goddamn age? He's putting his age down a little lower in case any chicks are watching. He's hoping they'll slide in there, so he's saying he's younger than he is.
Right.
Because now we're all the I mean, guys, you're a handful of years older than me, but we're all the old guys now. Because dude, I remember when I was going to shows, I was always the kid. Now I go there and there's kids. I'm like, there's kids there that I'm old enough to be their dad. I'm like, when the fuck did this shit happen?
Yeah, absolutely. And it sneaks up on you too. It happens so fast.
Yeah, 100% does. Because yeah, I
And
remember
I'll,
going.
and I'll be talking about a show or something, and I'll be like, "Hey, you remember that show?" Then we'll start like, thinking, "Yeah, it was 22 years ago."
Yeah. Well, even just
Yeah.
like stuff when Fleshtized played.
Yeah.
It's funny too because you were on one of the it was a Razorback single. I guess I should ask about that. You guys were on a Razorback comp, right?
Yeah, we
Did you know
were.
how I got that comp?
How did you get that?
At the Ohio Death Fest? I'm assuming it was Casey.
Okay.
He just threw a shitload out in the crowd.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's what it is. But I guess I just thought of it now. Why are you guys on the Razorback? Because you never like signed with Razorback.
Yeah. So I'm trying to remember the
I
exact
mean, a
deal.
lot of these bands didn't.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember the exact deal.
Is it Deranged on there too? Deranged is on there too, right?
Yes, they are.
Yeah. Yeah. Casey threw, I'm pretty sure it was Casey, but it was one again when people are like, what do you mean? You say you're a big Fleshtized fan, you don't remember each guy? I'm like, it was 25 fucking years ago. No, I don't remember exactly.
Right. Yeah, I mean, there's no way. If I remember correctly, I actually think when they were doing that comp, I think they were actually giving the bands money. I think they paid us to actually put that on there. They paid us like I think $100 or something.
No shit. Game got paid.
Yeah,
Shekels.
I think we got paid. I think we got paid to do it, like $100. Yeah, to put
Hell
the song on there.
yeah.
And it was like we got paid, and it was free. I mean, it's getting our name out there. So I mean, why wouldn't you?
But dude, that's how because the first time I heard Fleshtized was seeing you guys live, and then that was the first studio thing I had, and I thought it was great. And when I bought it, I'm pretty sure Bird Flesh is on there too. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah, I think they were. I think I saw them on there.
But bands like you guys, Bird Flesh, and I think Deranged, that's how I first heard it. And that's when I went out and started buying the records and stuff of them.
Yeah, so I mean,
But I saw you guys' set too, because I liked it live. And then I was like, that's a studio track I heard, and then bought the stuff. And then
Oh yeah.
I don't remember because Casey was the guy I always because he moved up here. He was the one I talked to the most because like I don't remember if I met. It's like again, I don't expect you to remember either. I like if in the two I would have been if it was 2000 that you guys played, I would have been 15, 2001, 16. If you met some kids, but I don't remember if I met you because you would have looked different too. Like some guys that I met, like hell, even like the Burial guys. You saw my Burial guys, and I did a Zoom with Ian a couple times. I met all of them. The only guy I remember meeting and having a brief conversation was Devin the singer, but I know I met all of them because my CD's signed by all of them. I don't remember meeting Ian, but at the same time, though, I don't remember meeting him, but he looks drastically different 25 years later. So it's like you wouldn't have recognized him anyways. And it's very good possibility you're in that same goddamn boat.
Yeah, absolutely. But there's people that's come up to me. I haven't seen them in like 20, 25 years. And like you said, they look drastically different.
Yeah.
And they kind of have to like refresh my memory. And I'll be like, oh yeah, so.
Yeah. That's what I'll have to do today. If I ever bump into Casey again, the only way he might remember my dumbass, granted he's met me multiple times because he lived in Ohio. I told this story on the channel. I think it was at Ohio Death Fest, but it was definitely at the same club, Flying Machine. Him and I were just standing around. It was around like I think like the distro bin that Bet Baxter was selling for Ablated Records. We're standing there talking, and my nose just started gushing blood, and I poured blood all over his arm. I'm like, oh fuck, sorry, bro, because I would get these. I would get this.
Vaguely remember that actually.
Yeah, it was embarrassing as fuck. I was like 15 or 16 because I would get nosebleeds and shit. Because like ever since I was a young kid, I'd get really dry skin, and I had to like lotion all the time, and even up like in my nostrils and shit, especially in the wintertime because my parents would burn wood like fucking Amish people, even though they didn't need to. So like the dryness in the house, if I didn't constantly
no moisture at all. No.
Yeah, I would get nosebleeds if I didn't keep up on it. And I started it just come out of nowhere. And it just started bleeding. It was embarrassing as fuck. He's oh no, don't worry about it, bro. You know what I mean? But so if he remembers anything, I was like, probably remember that because fucking I sure as fuck do.
Yeah, I vaguely remember that. I remember him coming up to me and he's like, dude, it's like nose, just like busted blood all over me. I was like, really? He's like, yeah. I was like, I think I remember you guys standing over there and talking too. I can't remember if we spoke or not though, because I mean, it's been, like you were saying, it's been so many years ago.
But that was me. You know what I mean?
Hilarious.
Totally fucking hilarious. So that would have been even before. I don't think we started Hell's at that point. You know, Hell's didn't even exist, and it's just funny because all these little things. Like I'm just a normal fan from the scene too, but people see it so different. Like, oh, that's the YouTube guy. I'm like, no, I'm just on YouTube and do videos you saw up and watch. Just like technically now you guys will be. This will be up, and if we did more and more, and like let's say you guys play shows, people will come up to you, and I know because people tell me all the time, like, yeah, for our video, people come up to me at all the shows, and it's like you're just kind of like, all right, yeah, I know, it's just like anyone can do it, So it's like to me, it's just like, it's not a big deal, but they like, oh shit. And they're like, they look at you as like a celebrity, and it's kind of weird.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, you said they were doing that at the Ohio Death Fest with you, that they were like, oh shit, it's guys from Fleshtized.
Yeah, like I told him about that. I remember it was right when Here Among Thorns first come out, and I remember like we walked in, and of course, like none of us were never pretentious or anything like that. But we walked in, and there was like a couple guys like standing there, and they like turned and looked, and they were like, "That's those guys from Fleshtized." I'm like, "Okay, that's kind of weird, but all right." That Here Among Thorns, like when it first came out, it had a pretty good buzz about it. I mean, everybody's distro had it. I mean, I remember when we went through because I was just looking because I was curious. When we went through all the distros and stuff at Ohio Death Fest, I mean, every single one of them like had it. I mean, there were several copies in each. And Will Rahmer actually, he hit me up like a few different times to get some more copies. Don't sold out. Got rid of those. So
yeah.
But I mean, that was cool because I mean, Will was like real huge into he had a huge distro. He was like,
we trade back we trade with them back when we first started too. Yeah, we trade with them.
Yeah.
Yep.
Didn't that Grimoire of Exalted Deeds guy try to start shit between y'all and Will?
Yeah. He sure did. That was years ago.
The Bill Zebub or whatever.
Yeah, he did like an interview with us, and I think it was me and Garth, if I remember correctly, and he was so in a fight, like who wins the fight between you guys and Mortician? And I mean, like, to me, it was just a silly, stupid question. I was like, but we were like, well, we wouldn't fight Mortician because we're friends with him. Like, Will's a cool guy, Yeah. But the funny thing about it was 2 years later at Milwaukee Metal Fest, we run into Will. First damn thing he says as soon as he sees, hey, what's up, guys? Blah, blah, blah. We're talking. He's like, that wasn't cool. And we were like, huh? What? And he's like, that guy was trying to start shit between us. I didn't appreciate that. He's like, that wasn't cool. And
I could totally see him saying that because he takes everything literal. Like,
yes. Like everything is like literal with Will, and he's very serious about everything. And I remember me and Garth, we laughed about it. I told him, I said, man, I was like, can you imagine if we'd actually like, said something, was like, oh, we'll beat the shit out of Mortician or something like that. Will had been like coming and trying to hunt us down at the stage or something,
He'd probably pull a knife on you.
Yeah, I mean, who knows? But it just, it was a silly question. And it was just like, it's like, brother, it's like, we always tried to be cool with everybody. I mean, if anybody asked us anything like that, I mean, there was only maybe like a handful of people in the scene, that did really shitty things that I would have just been like, man, fuck that guy. And it just openly said it, in a situation like that. So I always tried to be cool with everybody. I mean, how the metal scene is. I mean, it's kind of a brotherhood, everybody, or at least back in the day, everybody tried to help each other. We all tried to, support each other's bands and just, we all had that same love for the music. I mean, let's face it, death metal and extreme metal is not for everybody. I mean, it's a small subset of people that enjoy it.
Yeah. But I think that was Bill's shtick because, I mean, I remember having some of those magazines. They'd send it to me for free in like a relapse pack of shit.
Yes.
And somebody brought him up on my channel. They're like, would you interview him or deal with him? I'm like, probably not. I was like, I always kind of thought the guy was kind of a knob from the interviews. I was like, the only bands I remember that guy liked was literally King Diamond and Merciful Fate. And those were like the only serious interviews. I was like, every other interview was just stupid as shit. He would ask them dumb shit. Like, but I think that was his shtick. And I guess, I mean, it somewhat worked. People liked it. I just, even as a kid, I'm like, this is just dumb. Like, you'd be asking Corpse Grinder, like, how many times a day you take a shit? Like, just stupid shit. Is like, why would you want to know that?
And I remember one in particular, and I don't even know why I remember this, I guess because it was so stupid. He did an interview with David Vincent, and he asked him like two very serious questions. It's like, oh, okay, this is going to be a decent interview. Then like the third question he asked him, it said, Davy, does thou stick thou head in gravy? It was like, and of course, like David Vincent was immediately like, dude, what the fuck are you talking about? It's like,
well, some of that stuff, guys like David or something, I'm surprised that they didn't just get up and walk off.
Yeah. It's because, back then, especially David, I mean, he had kind of a short fuse for shit like that. He wasn't going to deal with a bunch of bullshit, so.
Do you have any
Yeah, I don't
personal
know.
interactions
He
with
ended up doing
Dave?
the whole interview. Like they finished it, but it was just, I just remember like there was that and like 2 or 3 other questions. And it was just the stupidest shit ever. Like, I don't know. It's like, what are you doing, brother?
Yeah, that's what I always thought reading this shit. And I was just
Yeah.
like, that's why when somebody brought him up, I was like, oh, that's a name for Blast from the Past. I was like, I don't know what that guy's up to if he still does anything. I was like, but I would kind of have no interest because I just remember being just, I just remember just being dick and fart dumb shit. I was like, that's just not my style.
Right. Yeah. I mean, especially back then, I mean, I feel like everybody, especially when death metal was first, becoming what it was, it's like everybody took it a lot more seriously back then. It was like kind of a serious thing. And it's like, then it turned into everybody started, everything was slapstick and funny. And, you had kind of the Black Dahlia murder thing going on, where, everybody acted goofy and dressed weird. And I don't particularly have an issue with that. I mean, I'm not talking shit about Black Dahlia murder. They actually, Trevor was a great guy. He helped us out a whole lot. He was a really
Oh, so
nice
you
guy.
actually knew those guys. You actually knew those guys.
Yeah, yeah, they're really good guys, really great guys. I just remember when that first started. Like I remember, like me and Matt were seeing that, and you were seeing these bands that were like, these kind of like portly looking guys, and they were just acting goofy in the videos and stuff like that. And I remember, back then it was kind of like militant, like metal. You had to be real serious and
Yeah,
just,
yeah.
and just I didn't get it. It didn't make a lot of sense to me. I mean, it's still not my thing, but like, as I've gotten older, it's kind of like, do whatever you do.
It's funny because actually that's exactly my stance too. It just doesn't come off like that. It's a channel. To be honest with you, with the channel, it's not that it's fake, but what I try to do is like when anyone asks my opinion, when it comes to any of that, talking to posers and baseball caps on stage and shit like that, is I express my opinion of what I thought as a teenager.
Yeah, yeah,
Because it comes off as comical and that is what I thought. Nowadays, when people are like, oh man, he's serious. Like, well, I was like, dude, you realize now I just don't. I mean, it's just life in general. I just don't give a fuck about almost nothing. I was like, there's very few things. I was like, unless it directly impacts my life or my family, I was like, dude, I don't give a fuck. I mean, everything just rolls off my back. So if you think I'm going to a show and I'm enraged because the guy's wearing a ball cap on stage, I was like, you're an idiot. I was like, I was like, I don't care. I was like, now I'm serious in the sense of like, if I was in a band, I personally wouldn't do that. You know what I mean? And if it was my band, the requirement would be like, dude, you got to at least look somewhat metal. There would be some type of dress code. So I am
yeah,
serious in
yeah.
that sense. But I mean, people that meet me, I think that because they'll point out, oh, dog, did you see the last band? Like almost like I'm gonna go kick their ass or something. Like they're
Right,
serious.
right.
I'm like, no, dude, I don't give a fuck what they do.
Like you're the gatekeeper or something, right?
Yeah.
Right,
And
right.
speaking of that teenage perspective, I think that's something on the third Chaos Inception album that I was thinking of the whole time writing all these songs. I was like, I don't want to compete with other bands doing anything. I want to do when I was 15 years old, what kind of death metal album would I want? What kind of songs would be on it? And that's exactly what I tried to do because I did feel like over the years that we would try to like, oh shit, Hate Eternal just put out an album and then that was a cool riff. I need to do something like that. Or, you would just, oh, Necrophagus came out, man. Everybody's digging that, man. We gotta get more technical. And really, the band fell apart. So it's like, we got nothing to lose. I'm writing this damn 15-year-old album and I'm playing these 15-year-old leads. And it was as crazy and as like as I could possibly get it and to have it pass, because it's got to pass inspection, like
Yeah.
he's gonna be like, no, that's bullshit. You ain't doing that. But I really, that's like the only thing I cared about, and because we've given up on success.
No, I think a lot of bands actually need to take that, and that's crossed our mind exactly. Hell, even bands like Cannibal, I think, should do this, even though I don't think Cannibal has a bad album. But it's kind of like to spice it up. I was like, go back to your teenage roots. Like, what were you thinking then? Try to write that record.
I
Because,
think
like,
Christian needs to do it. Christian needs to do that.
yeah, they do. That'd be good. Because, I mean, a lot of the bands, what it is we're all getting older and you are more mature. But at the same time, it's like, that's not how any of us got into this. We got on an all early, immature band that was written by kids. And now people are
Yeah.
going to point out, well, what do you mean? You rip on all the kids' bands of today. It's like, it's just different because the way kids get into music today is it's all thrown at them all at once on YouTube or whatever. They heard Seven Churches the same goddamn day they heard Necrophagius. So then they're like, Possessed ain't brutal. It's like, well, dummy, you heard it in 20 at the same, you don't have any context to this whatsoever. And it's not their fault. But what I'm getting at is the youth, especially of the past, when you had to get it organically, kind of what the time frame you were, and then what inspired you, that energy and that aggression. I think with all of us, it's going to get lost because with life, and you just get set in your ways, like, oh, this is what I like, and obviously you grow and mature. Like there's definitely shit that I listen to now that there's no way in fuck I would listen to when I was 16. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you become more open-minded as you get older because you start
Correct. Yeah.
realizing, some of the how you thought back then was kind of like ludicrous and just kind of ridiculous. Because that I was kind of one of the first ones. I remember like the scene here was very militant. Everybody was all, you got to wear a death metal shirt all the time. You got to have combat boots on all the
Same,
time.
same.
And,
Yeah.
and and I would show up with like a fucking football jersey on or something,
Right.
and everybody be like, "What the fuck's Gary got on?" Blah 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 blah. I'm like,
see, it's not just me. That was like the talk.
yeah, yeah, and it's just
Well,
like I get it. Like I would tell them, I'd be like, look, I'd be like, we play a show. I mean, obviously I'm a metalhead. I mean, I've been doing this for a long time, but it's like obviously we played a show. I know that there's a certain there's there's a certain look that we're going for. There's a product we're trying to sell. Obviously, I'm going to show up selling that product. There's
yeah.
a persona, so to speak. But it's
Correct.
like if you catch me out eating dinner somewhere and I've got on a football jersey, it's like, man, come on. It's like,
No, it's because, dude, I'm waiting for some idiot to fucking take a photo of me and do it. Because like sometimes I'll have like a bodybuilding shirt on that has nothing to do with
yeah,
metal. I'm like,
yeah, yeah,
yes, I didn't say you can't wear other shit. I was like, just don't do it on your album if you're doing photos, or don't do it live. Because yeah, it's supposed to have like an image to it. It's like,
yeah.
I was like,
There's a
that's all I'm
there's a
saying. I was like, I
certain
never said you can't wear shorts, you can't wear a hat. Like, I never said that. I was like, just don't,
right.
like, you're the performer. People are by theory are buying a ticket to come see you. I don't want to see a guy that's just got done playing fucking b-ball with the brothers in the fucking hood. You look like you look like you just got out the court, bro. You know what I mean?
Right,
Like,
right.
what are you doing? You know?
Yeah, so that was my only thing with it is I would just tell everybody that it's like, yeah, if I show up for the show, I'm gonna look a certain way. If we do the album, I'm gonna look a certain way. If you catch me out eating somewhere, or I'm like out at the mall somewhere, like
Yeah.
it's like, come on now. It's like I'm not saying I'm gonna be out there like you said, looking completely ridiculous, but it's just like if I have on some different attire or something that's not, black or combat boots or something like
Yeah.
that, it's like, come on, it's like it's
Correct.
getting ridiculous.
No, yeah. Now, if you're wearing a tutu like David Vincent, I'm kind of like, what the fuck would you ever be wearing that for,
Yeah,
homeboy?
no,
I don't have that in my closet at all. I was like, I have some
yeah.
non-metal shirts that I wear, but I ain't got a tutu.
Yeah, David took it into some places that I don't think I would have ever gone. But
Yeah, right.
like and like I said, I think probably the most extreme thing you'll catch me is like a football jersey or just a regular, maybe like you said, a gym shirt, maybe just like a
Yeah,
Nike shirt or something, but just
yeah,
normal clothing.
yeah. 100%. Yeah. Well, Matt, what about we didn't discuss at all because yeah, I'm kind of running out of time. But I definitely
Yeah.
think we should discuss is you pointed out to me is you've been in Monstrosity for a while. How did that go down? Like, how did you join Monstrosity? How was it being in Monstrosity? Which was because when you already joined the band, they were a legendary death metal band. I mean, I know there's idiots that like, oh, I never heard of them. It's like, well, if you never heard of Monstrosity, you're just an absolute idiot, as far as I'm
Yeah.
concerned. Or you're very new to this. So they already had that, legendary status. First band Corpse Grinder sang for. How was that? Like, how did you get that offer, and how was that joining them? And like,
Well, I mean, it's just from the people here in this scene. Like Gary, they knew Lee, and they brought them here for shows. And Jason Flippo from Quintessential knew him, and one guy who roadied with him, Lincoln. He lived in Huntsville. So really, what happened is, I think it was '08. Somebody didn't have their passport renewed,
Mhm.
and they're like, oh shit, we got to find somebody to go do the South American tour, and they somehow got in touch with me, so I had 2 weeks to learn the set and just, and it's always the situation I'm in. It's just like, man, I've got to bust my ass to, I mean, I remember I was playing guitar like 14 hours a day, like, cause like, and it's good for you to do this, when you join these bands and like, man, these guys are good. Damn, how am I going to do this? And just like, you just gotta I mean, like even to this day, which you might know because if I make a Hell's order, it's at like at 2 o'clock in the morning. Do you notice that? That's
Oh, I don't know.
because
It's the time. I see when they come in. I mean, I see the order, but I print all the orders like in the morning, so I don't see the exact time. No. But I mean, I see your orders. Yes.
yeah, I mean, I get up at 2 o'clock in the morning to play guitar, so to be able to play
God
with
damn!
you
What time do you go to bed?
early.
Like
I got
it's got.
kids,
What do
it's
you?
pretty early, but I don't sleep. I get 5, 6 hours of sleep, but that's it. For the past 8 years, that's what I've done.
No, dude.
And
I
even
actually, I've
before
said it
that,
before, and I'll say it again. I consider that a superpower, and I envy the fuck out of it. Because, dude, I can't physically function off less than 8, and 8's the minimum. And when I say I can't function, like I literally can't function, dude. Like I have that borderline nauseous feeling all day long. Every time, if I get less than 8 hours, it's like I'm like nauseous all day long. I feel like terrible. My whole day's shot. So people that can operate off 5 to 6, I consider that a superpower. Like you have more hours a day, you could be more productive, you could kick ass more in life. But I can never do it, and I tried. I was like, I physically can't function.
well, it's just like, you join Monstrosity and then they got the album Millennium and Jason Morgan. And hey, you got to play this in front of people. Like, what are you going to do?
Yeah,
I've got to play
yeah, you don't
that
want to
much.
embarrass yourself.
And then, I'm playing with Mark English and oh shit, man, he's going to embarrass me up here. I got to get my chops up. And, and then Mark English, he was on that Overtures of Blasphemy, but
I was
he
just
was
going
in
to ask you
Monstrosity.
that if you got any. I mean, people like dirt, people like gossip. Maybe that'll be the goddamn title of the fucking video. If you like, why did he leave DSI? Was he getting the boot? Did he quit? He hates GB. Like, do you maybe don't know? Because
I think,
I remember when I
I
heard
don't think
I heard when he was out, but I don't know what the reason is.
I don't think, a lot of times if you're inside that kind of thing, you're not supposed to talk about it, but I don't even think this is bad. So I think I will just, what little
Yeah.
I know is that I believe he had a bad experience with them recording that album where they didn't like some of the things he was bringing to the table. And then they might have been like after hours deleted and
Oh,
redone.
okay. Yeah.
I think it was one of those deals.
But
Because he's,
was he fired or did he quit? Because like for example, Kevin, when I was told, Steve Ashim told me in text, he's like Kevin quit. It's like it's a bummer because from what I understand is he just didn't want to tour no more, family and shit like that. Like
yeah.
it wasn't. He's like we're still friends. He's like he just couldn't handle all he's like we have a lot of touring we're planning on doing. He just knew he couldn't keep up with the schedule. I'm like, yeah, I mean, grown ass man. I mean, it makes sense. I get it.
Yeah, no, I don't. I think it was kind of mutual. I think he was stung. He was stung by them doing that, and then it just kind of fell apart.
Yeah, I mean, I could see his point. I could see his point kind of stinging if they went behind your back. But at the same time, my mentality would be like, well, I mean, I was like, it's Steve and GB. At the end of the day, it's like they're the make the calls. Like, so it is their band. I'm the hired gun. Kind of like if I was in your boat of
Yeah.
monstrosity, I wouldn't expect to like just completely get ass raped. But if Lee wanted to make the final call and you didn't like it, it's like, well, he's kind of the boss. I mean, you know what I mean? It's his gig. So I would suck it up like that. Me
I
personally, might be a little annoyed, but I'm like, well, it is his gig.
that's the way I would view it. But I think Mark, well, because Mark, he did the first tour with Monstrosity in like '92. He's been around that scene, and I think the difference is he's just not intimidated by Glenn Ben. Maybe, like I would be like, oh shit, I'm in Dia's side, man. Yeah, Glenn, whatever you need.
No,
But Mark,
I'll be honest. I'd be a fanboy too. I'd be the same. I'm like, whatever the fuck, dude. I'm like that. He's like, because he's got my number too. He's the type of guy, and there's very few people in this world I do this for. When I say very few, it's less than 10 for sure. Like if he hit me up for anything, hey, bro, can you bring me some food and beverages to the show? I would, yeah, bro. Want to go out to dinner too? It's on me. You know what I mean, there's very few. I don't even offer to take my mom out for dinner. But if he's wanted to go fucking get the shit, I'm buying, bro. No problem.
but yeah, and also to be fair, and not talking shit, of course, I'm best friends with the guy in my mind, but for Mark, he's really not into death metal. It's just kind of
Yeah,
weird, but
dude. I know
he's
people. I know like that. I know people like that too. Again, like there's people I won't shout out in bands that everyone that watches this channel know that I may or may not somewhat be affiliated with, and there's quote unquote members. I'm like, If I was in charge, I wouldn't have this guy. He's a nice guy, but he is a fucking poser. Like he doesn't never even heard Repulsion. Never even heard him. Who?
Yeah.
Ah, fuck. Come on, man. What the fuck you doing? So
Yeah, I try to temper that because like, I mean, I really study it. I mean, I like, if you could see in different rooms here, like I had this room built just for my collection of crap. And it's just like books on heavy metal, books on, CDs. So like, I wouldn't say like, hey, that guy don't know every band I know, so he's a poser, because like I do know a lot of them.
no,
But I studied this stuff a lot.
no, and much to fucking popular belief, I don't do that either. I know it sounds like I
Yeah.
do, but when you don't know obvious shit like
Oh,
Repulsion
yeah.
or like never heard Monstrosity, like I say that like if you, I was like, to me, you should own Imperial Doom at least. If you don't own that, it's like what do you mean? That's just stupid. Like how do you not? There's certain shit where it's obvious stuff, but if it's like, for example, if I meet someone, a new fan, and he's like, I never heard of that Chaos Inception band. I'm not like, what a fucking poser. Where you been, bro?
I
Yeah, I
mean,
never
it's
heard of Fleshtized. What a poser. I was like, I get it. I mean, of course. Yeah, it makes sense.
now there's been a few bands though that I've never heard of that. I've never heard of that Last Days of Humanity. That was pretty crazy. I've never heard of that
Yeah, I'm
before.
surprised you haven't because for a time frame, like in the brutal scene, I heard about him because everyone was talking about him. I was
Well,
like,
that was
oh,
pretty damn brutal when I first heard it recently.
super
And
fucking brutal.
he used to have, I bought out his distro. Like I wasn't into that brutal stuff. And this is another thing, like the Tish came back, you know,
Yeah.
he had the brutal distro and it was just gathering dust. I was like, hey man, sell this to me. And I was going to sell it on eBay or at shows or something. And like it wasn't worth much then, but then looking back, it's like, yeah, Mortal Decay's in here and Lividity. And all those CDs are selling for like $150.
I know.
And it was
I know.
worthless then. Nobody wanted that.
No, I know.
I
100%.
I had that stuff forever and couldn't like give it away. Like you couldn't
Right.
couldn't give it away, and now you sell it for
Dude, a lot of those bands, like
$100 a CD.
Gary, I'm sure you remember because you probably played with Deeds of Flesh and Discord, just like that. Do you remember
Yeah.
Unique Leader? Literally, bands like Mortal Decay and stuff he's bringing up, they'd be
Yeah.
selling their distro bin. It was buy 3, get 1 free. That was
100%.
they
Yeah.
did that all the time. Like it was like cheap back then. Cheap.
Yeah, it was super cheap. You could get lots of music, especially if you went to some of the bigger metal festivals and stuff like that. Man, you could come home with so much new music and probably like spend what $100 maybe.
Dude, I told this again. This is why I like to rip on people, but hopefully it's in a sense to motivate people to like make money so that way you could do things in the world that you like to do. Ohio Death Fest. I said the first one I went to was the year 2000. That was the first Ohio Death Fest. So I was 15, right? Every Ohio Death Fest, me, Easy, and Sea Dog, we all had a budget. Each one of us went for spending cash just on merch only. Keep in mind, we didn't drink. We couldn't. We were underage, but we didn't drink anyways. Dude, we each went there with $500 cash as a budget. Me at 15, that was normal. Like, fuck, it's shopping. Because you remember the Ohio Death Fest, all the distros. You know what I mean?
Right.
Ablated had theirs. Rich Lipscomb had his. Fucking if Deeds was there, they had theirs. If Will Rahmer was there, he had his. All the distros were there. It was like, it's that shopping day. You planned for it. And you brought 500. I was like, that's about my budget. I think that's not going too crazy, but it's, because I always worked. And I'm like, fuck yeah. So like, when these idiots come up to me like, I can't go to the show because it's $20, I'm like, the fuck, homie? Like, how? What are you doing? Like, how is that even possible?
Like $20 is a lot of money.
Right, but no, but that's what we did. Yeah, we went shopping, and yeah, you could get. We came back with bags full of shit. 'Cause I remember. Do you remember? Because you were at the Flying Machine. Mitch, who owned the Flying Machine for Ohio Death Fest. Do you remember that guy? Oh yeah,
yeah. I'd met him before.
Dude, it's funny because that guy saw me and my brothers for years. Because the first time I went there was '98. That's the first time I've been there. And he saw us for years, right? And he was a total dick and literally knew us, like knew us. He'd be a dick every time we want to go back out to the car because we buy all our merch first and we just wanted to put on the car. There's no re-entry. It's like,
I remember that.
dude, what do you? We just don't want to hold bags of fucking merch all night. Like, and plus we at that time we'd go in the pit and shit. I'm like, we bought all our shit. Now we want to watch the bands and have fun. Like, why are you being an asshole? And you see us at every show. Like, total cocksucker. Don't miss that guy one goddamn bit.
Yeah, there's a few people in the scene that I shall not name that. Yeah, they're no
Well,
longer
he's dead,
with
so it
us.
doesn't matter.
Yeah. There's a few of them that are no longer with us, and it was kind of like everybody was like heartbroken over certain people, and I was just like, I didn't get it. I was just like, maybe they had different experiences. Man, everybody's got different experiences with different people. So
Yeah. So you guys got nothing to add. Guess we'll just throw it out there. Yeah. So imagine 2027, Dead by Dog, Volume 3. Imagine this lineup, plus about 5 other bands. Fleshtized Reunited, Chaos Inception, and fucking Monstrosity. All three
hey,
top combo. That'd be pretty awesome, huh? Give you
That'd be a tall order for me. But yeah,
oh yeah, you'd be real tall order
somebody
for you.
like somebody watching this video. I thought this would be cool. Like, hey, maybe some guy who thinks he can play the drums in Chaos Inception sees this video.
It's
Give us
possible.
contact us. You know, if you're in the area, you know, Nashville, Atlanta, maybe we could work something out.
Well, Matt, do this. I'll put in this video specifically. Email me back with your at least a Bandcamp link or a Bandcamp link and whatever if you want people to get in contact. Maybe even if you want your personal hell, my personal email's in the inbox, whatever.
Yeah.
If you want your email, whatever, and I can put it in there. Hit up fucking Matt for Chaos Inception for anything. If you want to check out the band, or if you
Right.
want to, if you think you got the fucking you can play those kind of drums, hit them up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
send me that
I could
info
see
and I'll put it on
wanting
this.
to, I could see wanting to try to play a show like, you know, because I'm not going to say like, yeah, in 10 years we might find it like, is it realistic that we're going to do this or we'll be invited to do it? So I would like to try to play that somehow.
You never know, because if Casey got the call up and if it was from
Yeah.
me and like, hey, bro, I want you to reunite Fleshtized and play my show in 2027. Number one, he's gonna say no, but number two, he's gonna be like, I never thought in 20. If you would have asked him back then, ain't nobody calling me up in 20 years to play this fucking bullshit. That's probably what he thought, right?
But you know, I'll talk to Lee about Monstrosity. But I will tell you this: he's the one that showed me your channel first, Lee
Ah,
Harris.
now I was gonna ask you that, but we all cut each other off with different conversation, like different topics. They just you see how they kind of go. I was
Yeah,
gonna ask, does Lee know about my channel? I didn't know.
yeah, he does, because especially because he always busts my balls, like, hey man, yeah, he mentioned your name, or you know, you sent in a page ski, or hey, he's talking about. Yeah, I'm on that Passage of Existence album, and you know, anytime you
And
hold that up, he sends it to me, and
I shouted that album out. I recommended on the channel. Did you see that one?
that's right. Yeah, I did.
That was way before I knew you. I didn't know
Yeah,
nothing about you. You know what I mean? And so I saw Monstrosity for the first time on the In Dark Purity tour, and I met Lee, and I had him sign my stuff, and I remember the year because he wrote Lee Harrison '99, and
Mm.
we didn't have a long conversation or nothing, but I didn't have a bad experience, right? Why is it? And it's like 2 or 3 people. Nobody ever said anything directly bad about Lee, but the overall consensus I got from 3 people that seem to know him, they say he's very standoffish, like he's not a very nice guy. Like they didn't use those words, but it was the stories all kind of led to that. Is there any?
he he's kind of changed a little bit. I think that might have been earlier because like even used to when we were on the road, he would have like a private room and you'd never see him. And now it's just and he wouldn't hanging out, but now it's just like, hey, he's always hanging out. And like, oh man, I want to go to bed, but he's still hanging out. So not like he's not like a party animal or anything, but he's up and just having conversations with people. But I wouldn't think that he's like that any longer. He's
You think Lee would do a Zoom interview with me for the channel?
I think he would.
mhm.
I'd be totally see guys like him. Guys like him,
I'll
I
make him
never.
do it.
What's that?
I'm gonna make him do it.
Yeah, but
Well, I
see,
said I did.
guys like him, the only reason I never asked, this is the only reason, because if anybody would ask me even 2 years ago on the channel, would you ever interview Lee Harrison? I'd be like, of course I would. But the only reason I never asked is because I'm like, I want to do it in person. I was like, and I probably will see Monstrosity live again, not too long time frame, and I prefer to do in person. However, 2 things. One, I am getting more comfortable with doing these Zooms, especially now on my phone and the quality's better and it's not cutting out and shit. So I'm a little bit more open to it. And 2, dude, it's becoming more and more obvious. These guys don't, it's not that they don't want to do it, most of them. Well, some just straight up don't want to do it, but they don't want to do it on the road for whatever reason. They're tuckered out, they're preserving their voice for whatever the reason is. I'm like, all right, because let's face it, in person is always the best. But I have to just come to realization. A lot of the guys left that I want to do, they don't want to do it in person. So, and Lee could very well be in there. I could go Cleveland. Bro, I'm taking a nap. Like you heard Peter, right? Peter Vader, I'm taking a nap. He told me what time to get there. Did you hear my story? I went up a couple days ago.
That's what Peter said.
Yeah, you didn't hear?
No, I didn't.
Dude,
I didn't know
it was set up in advance. It was set up with through text from Phil from Malevolent Creation because but Phil went home and I was like, can you talk to Peter for me? He's like, I'm sitting right next to him right now. I was like, oh, can you tell him who I am? I was like, obviously I want to interview you, Phil. We've already had it set up for a week or so. Ask Peter, same thing. He's like, yeah, of course I'll do it, bro. I was like, cool. When can we do it? He's like before the show starts for sure. Great. I get there over an hour before the show starts. Walking around the venue. Where you at, bro? Nowhere to be found. So I go up to the merch girl. She was setting up whatever. I was like, where's Peter at? I got a business meeting set up with this homeboy. Business meeting? Oh, okay, shit. She's like, well, I think he's on the bus. Let's go talk to him. We walk out there. She just has me wait outside. She goes up on the bus. She comes back off. She's like, yeah, he's going to have to pass. He says he's going to take a nap. Nap? What the fuck do you mean? I have a scheduled interview. I wouldn't have gotten here if it wasn't fucking like. And the thing is it's not that I'm mad that he's saying no. I'm like, dude, I wouldn't have gotten here at this. Like, I'm here at 6 p.m. My ass isn't even out of the gym yet at 6 fucking p.m. I skipped the fucking gym for your ass. I left the air house early for your ass to get something accomplished. I'm more pissed off you're just wasting my time. If he would have said before days, fuck off, your channel sucks, I don't want to do no interview with you. I'm like, oh, great, at least you didn't waste my time. But I got there at the time you said, and I'm tuckered out, I'm taking a nap. Sleeping on the fucking job.
I thought the Van Drunen story that was pretty
Dude,
good.
yeah. Ooh, did you hear that one, Gary? The Drunen?
No, I did not.
Dude, I go up to this fucking retard, walk straight up to him. And I was like, hey, Martin. I was like, Justin from Hell's Headbangers, the world's largest online fucking metal store. I do a YouTube channel. Granted, I'm telling him, beefing it up a little bit. So he's like, oh shit, world's largest. So you think, sure, this guy's got some numbers, right? Well, that's not a lie either. So nobody's yet to fucking tell me a company that has more titles and stuff. But whatever. Besides the goddamn point, I'm making it look good, making it look professional. Well, so like to shoot an interview with you. He's like, oh, well, Mulder's going on. I get it. Yeah, let's watch Mulder. Mulder's great. They're my boys and a big fan. Mulder LP in the background too. Available at Hell's Headbangers. Goddamn it. I was like, yeah, but after Mulder's done playing, he's like, oh, I don't have anything to say. I was like, that's fine. I got lots to say. Well, what do you want me to say? I'm like, bro, it's called an interview. I have a list of questions printed off. I'm going to ask them, and then you answer them. Oh, well, Mulder's going on. I'm like, is this guy fucking retarded? Just forget it, bro. What the fuck? I was like, this guy's either 20 beers deep or he's brain damaged or something. Like, it didn't make sense. It's like, don't get me wrong, I understand English is not your first language, but he knew enough not to give me a dumbass response like that.
Yeah.
Going back to Peter, I'll tell you a quick funny story that I know. I remember on the Millennium Tour, we went to Atlanta to see Monstrosity, and Lee had to leave and go pick up Vader from the airport. It was the first night of the tour, and it was them in Broken Hope, and he gets them back there. And man, those guys are so fucking drunk. Like when they got back to the show, they can't fucking walk. I mean,
Broken Hope or Vader?
No, Vader.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they had international flight. And
free alcohol.
Yeah, free alcohol. Like they were like stumbling like into the fucking club. And I remember it was like we were talking to Lee, and Lee was like, man, I don't think they're gonna. And they didn't play that night. It sucked because I wanted to see them.
So they basically drunk themselves to the point where they had to cancel their set.
Yes, yeah, like
that's pretty bad, dude.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not trying to like trash talk them or anything. I mean, it's years
No,
ago.
I've always talked, dude. I've talked. I like every Vader album. I own every Vader album. I might be missing like one or two later ones, but I don't think I am. Either a CD or LP. I think I own every album. I like every album. And I've met Peter several times. I had a great experience. Dude, the first time we met him, he invited us on their bus, but we didn't go because it was like the school night and it was after the show. But he was signing me, Eazy-E, and Sea Dogs, all our stuff. I still have it all signed to this day. And he's like, God damn. He said, you guys have everything. He's like, what is this, a Vader store? And then I remember him signing my Reborn in Chaos, the demo CD. I have a picture disc of it. And he's like, whoa, this is a bootleg. He's like, I don't even own one of these. So I've never seen one of these. I was like, oh. I was like, yeah, I love the demos. And he signed it. And also Doc signed all my stuff. And I had my picture with both. My picture with Doc, I'm like 15 or 16 years old. He fucking towers over me like a goddamn giant. And then
Yeah, he was
years later, he died of a drug overdose. I'm like, fuck, that was kind of cool. I was like, I got all my shit signed in a photo with him. I was like, now he's dead.
Yeah, Doc was a cool guy. Yeah, that particular tour too, it was kind of crazy because that was right after De Profundis had come out. You know, there was a bunch of hype behind that album. That album was really good when it first came
Really
out.
good. Dude,
Yeah.
I mean, like I said, I like every album, but for me, Litany Down, that shit is goated as fuck.
Yeah, I agree. I totally agree.
Yeah,
But yeah,
that's
De
like that's
Profundis,
mandatory down.
that was a game changer when it first came out. That was a really good album.
Yeah. Yeah, no, but no, I've always had positive things to say about Vader, but what I'm getting at is like that's why I'm more open to do like a Zoom with Lee. It's nothing against Lee with all these, but just more and more I'm finding out. I'm either getting dumbass answers. I get Chris Barnes, I'm too busy. I'm like, there's no way you're busy, bro. You don't even have to do anything. You don't even have to carry a fucking microphone in. Like, what do you mean busy? You're the furthest fucking thing from busy on the face of the earth.
I'm going down there, I think this month for rehearsal. I think the whole band will be together, and there's the two original guys, Lee and Mark Van Erp on bass, and I think I could maybe set that up for you.
Who's currently singing for the band now then?
Ed Webb. He was in Massacre on their one of their comeback albums.
How many total singers has Monstrosity have? Like Jason sings on 3 albums?
Is it 2 or 3? I think
definitely 2.
Yeah, he did too because he did in Dark Purity and
then
did,
who's after him? Who's the singer after him? I don't even know the guy's name.
Mike Robacek. You were talking about him the other day with Seth. Robacek. He was in he's in that Ice band now. And shit, he's in a lot of different bands. But him and then
Sam
Molina.
Molina. He did. I don't think he did any albums, but he did a bunch of tours with him.
And he plays guitar for him now too.
Why do you think Monstrosity has such a hard time? I guess this will be something I'll ask Lee too, but he might answer better. But in your opinion, why do you think they have such a hard time keeping a vocalist?
I think it's just when I joined, it was the years between albums. You know, there's several years that, you know, just that's not saying that's what happened earlier on, but with Mike, that might have been because he's involved in a lot of different projects, and he was just kind of seemed eager to get stuff out, and it was just taking a little long, maybe.
He likes to stay busy.
Yeah, I'm curious, like, because I haven't seen Monstrosity headline in forever. The last time I saw Monstrosity, I didn't get to watch the entire guy's set. I guess you would have been playing too then. Was Metal Threat. You guys were like the fill-in band, and I watched some songs. But that is the first experience I had where, dude, I had at least 150 people walk up to me and ask for a photo, want to talk, and it was literally overwhelming. I started to lose my voice because I didn't know that was going to happen. Like, prior to that, I'd have people here and there at shows. Hey, dog, hey, can I get a photo? Not like that. It would be like 2 per night or some shit. So between helping with the merch stand, Hell's Headbangers, people literally yakking my ear off all night, and then plus doing some interviews, I was like, oh shit, I want to watch a few songs by Monstrosity. But headlining band, dude, I don't think I've seen you guys since In Dark Purity. So my question is, in these times, kind of like we were talking about Mortician and Incantation bigger, if Monstrosity headlines just whatever, any state, you're on tour, roughly how many people show up if you're the headlining band?
Well, that's just it. I mean, in the U.S., maybe that'll never happen. We don't book a lot of shows in the U.S. for that reason. We only book festival shows here. When we've played a couple one-offs, like in New York or Chicago, there were maybe 200 people. And
you were the headlining band, and it wasn't a fest?
Yeah. We did. Of course, we did one in Tampa that was really successful, and in Miami. But like once you get out in the Midwest or something, I don't think we expect it to. And we probably don't want to be loaded up in a van and doing our own driving, so the expense of that. I don't know. There hasn't been any plans for a U.S. tour. There is a plan for a European tour after the new album, which is already recorded.
Oh no shit. Okay. Because
It's
usually when I
been
think monstrosity, dude, once an album's done, I'm like, all right, gonna be another 10 years till you get another album. Like you got plenty of time because it usually takes a while, which is
well,
not
see,
necessarily a bad thing. Some bands are like cranking them out too much. Like even like Cannibal and shit. It's like Cannibal, and I own every Cannibal album, and I don't dislike any album. But it's like, do you really need another album? I was like, I have a pretty goddamn good feeling that the next album is gonna be the same goddamn old shit. It's like unless you're doing something different, like try to do another Eating Back to Life. Like just go to that raw energy, a little bit more thrashy beat. Corpse Grinder try and sing really fast like Barnes was, and that tone. Just not because anything about Eating Back to Life, just to do something different. Like we don't need another album that's like the last 10. And again, I buy every album when it comes out, always. I buy the CD and the vinyl, and I like them all. But it's like it's the same old shit. So Monstrosity, it's kind of like that's fine almost. Like you don't like the crank an album out. It's like because a lot
oh
of times
yeah,
it's just the same shit. Dying Fetus, same thing. You know, I heard the new Dying Fetus song on YouTube. I'm like, pretty good. I was like, it's going to blur in with the last 5 albums for me though, because me, I'm a super fan of Destroy the Opposition Down, and those I can air guitar. I know a lot of the words. All the albums after that, I own them. I was like, I couldn't sit there and tell you all song names and layer. I don't fucking know. I was like, it all just yeah, it's all pretty good.
yeah. I think the we recorded, and this is with Chaos, Inception, Monstrosity, and any band I've been in. You record the album, and um, it just it takes years after that. Like you kind of just think like, can you give that back to us? Because I want to fix some things. Like what in the world is taking so long? Like it takes 6 months to a year for artwork. Sometimes you're like, oh my, you know.
Who's releasing the new Monstrosity? Do you have a label
Uh,
for it?
Metal Blade is releasing it.
They did
Metal
the
Blade,
last. Did they do the last one? They did do. They did. Yeah, they did the last one, right?
yes, but I think that they're only signing like one album deal, so
Okay.
they not signing some long-term deal or multi-album, so that it has to be renegotiated every time. This is what it seems like. I don't really get involved in all that part of it, but
I'm assuming Lee takes care of all that.
Lee does, yes.
Yeah, I assumed that. Yeah, okay. Yeah.
But yeah, I'll get you the interview soon.
Yeah, Selma, and maybe if he wants to wait to watch this first to kind of get an idea, and that's cool too. And
Yeah.
yeah, same with well, I guess both of you, because you know Gareth. I would do one with Gareth too from Fleshtized, and if nothing else, bring it up. What the fuck, bro? He's checking his email. He's bummed every day. Where's his reply? Got nothing. Dog's
I'll
interested in putting some Fleshtized out. I mean, at least if he wasn't interested in the offer, he'd tell me no. Or here's an idea. Hit me back. I don't like this offer, but how about X? Let's talk.
right.
What were you thinking, homie?
Yeah, I'll hit him up as soon as we're done with this. I'll see what's going on with him.
But yeah,
Maybe I don't know what that's not like him to not get back with somebody though. Normally he's really good about that.
to his
Well,
defense, he might have thought I was a fucking jerk off because I will say this: it took me, which is very unusual, but I got hammered and I kind of forgot about the email, and I didn't think I would forget about it because I was kind of excited to hear from him. It
Uh,
took me 2 or 3 days to reply to him for the first time. Maybe he thought that was a turnoff and unprofessional. Because usually, I'm day up. I'm within 24 hours always replying to people, and that was a exception. And I kind of felt like an ass when I finally replied. I was like, fuck, I'm late because I did I kind of forgot.
yeah, that is very possible. But I'll like I said, I'll hit him up as soon as we're done with this and tell him to get in touch with you. Maybe we can come to an agreement.
Yeah, I'd be
10
great.
grand
Yeah,
minimum.
10 grand. 10 grand. Well, I'll tell you what, it might be 10. How's this? It's 10 grand, but that covers CD of each, an LP of each, and a guaranteed 2017 fucking show of Dead by Dog, homie. There's your 10 grand. They'll cover it all.
Yeah.
You know.
Hey, maybe
Right, guys,
think about putting that Chaos Inception out on vinyl too. I don't know if we're going to be able to pull that off. We might have to do it ourselves.
I'm totally into it, and I'm not. It'd be me convincing Sea Dog, and I don't think he'd be against it. Especially, he's the point, especially with newer bands and newer releases, is he wants to see bands earn their keep. Like kind of like because we're at the point is like we can help you out. How can you help us out? Now, what he's gonna like to see is he knows this channel helps. Like these guys that are turned down interviews and stuff, That's stupid, dude. Get on there, do interviews, get out there, because now he's like, now people know, okay, now the record's gonna sell. He's like, saying, I'm not interested in putting out an LP and just have a bunch of doorstops. And now we got to do all the pushing because the band ain't doing jack shit. But things like you're doing right now, that's more, yeah, okay, yeah. See, now they're spreading the interest. Because, dude, right out the gate, I can tell you right now, we don't have many of those Chaos Inception CDs in stock, but we'll sell the rest just from this video. That's just how it works. And it's,
Yeah,
you don't even have to
I've heard
talk
of-
about the band that much. What today's
Yeah,
market is this, and it's not just in metal, it's in anything. People like to be able to identify with the personality that they identify with. And when they do, they want to support what the person's doing. Well, oh man, I thought these two guys were cool. So they're in a band. They're going to at least check it out if they jive with your personality. So all you need to do is just get out there and talk. And the people that jive with you are going to check your shit out. That is 100. You don't even have to sit there and promote it. That's why I don't shout too much shit out, because it looks over preachy and you don't need to, you know? And I found that out just from me doing the channel, because people that like my personality, they check shit out. And the people that hate me, they'll be the first to let me know in the comments. I got plenty of those too. And that's fine. You get the good with the bad. You know what I mean? But doing things like this, yeah, it definitely helps. And it's not because it's like, it's any type of marketing scam or anything like that. It's just, it's common sense. You're getting the way to get your name out there now is social media. And even myself, I watch YouTube. Who the fuck don't watch YouTube? Everybody watches YouTube. You know what I mean? It's the television of today, you know?
Tons of it.
Yeah. So, yeah, I
Well,
thought the album was
you-
great. The only track I didn't really like, I thought the instrumental was a little just kind of, it reminded me of Cannibal Corpse from Skin to Liquid. Not because it sounds like that. It was just a song that didn't blow my socks off. Like, it just felt like kind of a filler part as opposed to a lot of the album. I mean, the promo song that you guys put out, the Thousand Dead Pincer or whatever, that song's phenomenal. Like, you had me in when you like, I was like, oh, dude, I'll do the review now because you sent me a physical copy. I was like, this song's like really good, dude. I was like, I just need to hear this to do the review. You're like, well, hold off. I sent a full copy. I'm like, all right, cool. I was like, now that I heard that song, I was like, I'll legit listen to this whole disc. I was like, because I really liked that song and I liked the whole thing. And I was like, fuck. And then that's why I went and listened to previous albums. I was like, I liked the previous albums. I thought from what I remember on one of them, the triggers were really heavy, how they were produced. They're a little bit more.
The drums on that album, the guy that did it, he replaced all the drums, and it did end up kind of sounding, I guess, a little electronic or a little bit more fake than probably it should have. So
Yeah.
I'll agree with that.
So that stuck out to me, but as a whole, I was like, it's still good death metal. I was like, I like these other albums. I was like, the new album is the best one. I was like, and that's very rare. Very rare. Because again, bands
It's
usually
probably
get
the most
worse.
expensive one for us.
Yeah.
It's the most expensive one, and but I think that instrumental though. See, if you look at the album as a whole, that was necessary because it comes right before 10,000 Dead by Pincer.
Yeah, because it's like the build up. Again, it's not a bad track. I'm just saying if I have
blast beat, blast beat,
Yes.
and then you might be worn out. So
No, 100%.
that's what the purpose was of that.
Take it down for a second.
Maybe it was 15 seconds too long. I
No,
tried.
and again, like the way I like the breakup is when Christian first did the breaking it up that I thought worked. Again, some of their later albums are like, like on the last album, some songs I only like 4 songs or so. But when they first did the Bloodshed EP, I thought the opening song, Slain Fate, was the first song that wasn't just pure blasts, but it was done in a very memorable, catchy way. And that broke up the monotony of just starting off, beginning, and blasts. And that's what I was like, and I thought that, but granted, that was just one song. And I thought that was great. You know what I mean? Because, yeah, you're right. Especially now, if you do an album from the beginning to end, nothing but blasts, even though I'm generally a blast guy and I like fast shit, you better have stuff that's going to be memorable because otherwise it's going to go over your head. I mean, there's exceptions. Look at like Vader Litany. I mean, that's a pretty blasting album, but every song is memorable and good. It's just with that formula, which is the formula I prefer, I think it's hard to pull off to where it's not going to just be one long song, you know?
Yeah. And especially now when there's so many bands that's been around so long and you got to write a different song than what everybody else wrote. So
do something different. Oh, yeah.
I've got a really dumb idea maybe for like the next album. And I won't say it because somebody might steal it, but I
Yeah.
don't know if it's going to work, but if another Chaos Inception album will be different than the last one at this point, because
Yeah.
but I'm kind of excited about it.
Oh yeah. So you already started like you already have shit written for it then?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
then
it's just, there's some sound I'm hearing in my head, and it's the same thing. It's the teenage thing, and I don't care what anybody thinks anymore. And they say it's terrible, or I'm a terrible guitar player. It doesn't matter, but I'm trying to get this sound, and it involves like, to me, it's almost like what if ZZ Top, what if Hate Eternal, like if Billy Gibbons was in Hate Eternal? I mean, it's just some weird idea I've had just from when you think about you're a kid, that's what, and especially like in the mid 80s, that weird sound that everything had, like I'd say like a Judas Priest turbo.
it's funny you say, because
ZZ
like
Top.
again, I'm not in a band, and I have no desire to be in a band just because time, and I never had talent for a music instrument, I assume. But anyways, but in my mind, so I guess I'll give this idea to you guys. I'm not saying it's a good idea, but it's in my mind, or anyone else can steal this. The genre I would choose is death metal, because that's the genre I like the most stuff of. But I take stuff, again, people are gonna be shocked because I rip on it. I would take the ideas of classic rock bands, whether it be ZZ Top, Aerosmith, or whatever, Queen. Not saying these bands try to sound like it, but you notice those bands, if you listen to a Queen song or something, they all sound drastically different. Each song has its own identity.
Mhm.
I would take my death metal would be like, I want it to be extreme, I want it to be intense, but every song has to have its own identity, like classic rock did. That would be my goal, because I think that's the only way, not the only way, a pretty surefire way to stand out with an oversaturated market like a motherfucker is if every song, like, wow, like this is death metal, it's great, but literally every song, like pure identity on the first listen. Now, how easy is that to be pulled off? I have no idea. I don't even know if it is possible with the extreme type of music. I don't know.
It's almost impossible. And also because, we play everything tuned down, I think we need to get some higher stuff in there somehow. Keep the down tuning stuff, but just find some way to do something higher that is not just like racket, like just screechy noises
Yeah.
and treble. It's a real challenge. I mean, I would dare anybody to try it. It's
Yeah. No,
I mean,
that
it's one
crossed
of the
my
hardest
mind,
things
like you
to
said,
do.
maybe almost impossible. Because when I was thinking that idea, I'm like, yeah, but come on, dummy, you're not that much of a genius. You think nobody else thought of that? Like, there has to be a reason why someone hasn't done that. Maybe because it's not possible.
It's it's very difficult. I mean, when especially when we're writing songs, like you have to think about it just 24 hours a day. What comes after that? You're just obsessed with it. And to even just coming up with the first idea that's good that you think would pass, that I can even remember it next week, and that he's going to like it. And then, if you got other people in the band, do they like it? And because a lot of times the other guy in the band's like, hey, I like that riff. And like, oh man, that's garbage. You wrote the riff, but you think it's garbage.
What about this? Would this idea work? And again, you can apply for chaos, you can apply for monstrosity, whatever, or someone could steal the idea. The mentality of like, so Chaos Inception, let's say the first song, it's really blasting, really fast, your guys' usual formula, right? And then you got a song like a Marduk song, I'm a big fan of a later song, Bleached Bones. It's a really slow, gloomy, dark song, but not boring. It has like emotion to it, not boring. If you do a song, I guess for lack of better words, a doomier song, and then what if the pace on the next song after that is like more of a thrash pace, like a Pleasure to Kill type pace, and then after that, what about a not total blast, but maybe a little faster than thrash, maybe like a early Malevolent Creation, like a tough 10 Commandments, where there's a few parts with blasts, but mostly thrash beat, like just the whole rhythm and let's say pace of the album. If you're to structure every song where the pace is completely different, do you think that could work for a death metal album?
If you had something that tied it together where it was like, because I'd be worried about like, oh man, they're gonna think this sounds like Bleached Bones, or they're gonna think I'm ripping off. It's to be like, this needs to sound like it's not them. and at the same time have that variety. And
Gotta put your own identity on it.
Yeah, you 100%. Yeah, otherwise, yeah, that people are going to just call it a ripoff song or whatever. But I mean, sometimes that's like a catch-22 because there's a lot of bands, like whether it be an incantation ripoff band, a suffocation ripoff band. There's a lot of bands that sound like Dismember, to say the least, and people have nothing to say about it. That's why I was, again, help advertise the fest, but it's my honest opinion. For my first show, when I had Attic playing, it seemed like people either hated him or they loved him, and all the people that hated him said the same thing. He sounds exactly like King Diamond. I'm like, but you like 20 bands that sound exactly like Sodom. Like, I don't get it. Like, one band sounds exactly like him, but you like 20 that sound like Sodom. Like, I don't understand. Like, if you were in the crib, you're like, I don't like any band that represents another band because it's because a quote unquote ripoff. If that was your stance across the board, I'd be like, all right, makes sense. The guy's set in his way. You know what I mean? But I'm like, you like all these bands that sound like Suffocation, all these bands that sound like Dismember, all these bands that sound like Sodom. Like it makes no sense. But then you rip on one. Like, I don't get. Like, I don't get it. I'm legitimately confused.
yeah, and I guess it doesn't matter too much what people are saying about it, because what I've said throughout the rest of our conversation here was that we don't worry about that because we don't think we're gonna have like outstanding success. We've been doing it too long, and so
You might after that 2027 show, brah. Never know.
I don't want to be pessimistic, but just try to be realistic now, and I don't know, whatever would make us satisfied, with an album. I would almost what you said. We tried it on the last album, believe it or not. I tried to make every song sound different, and it's
well, Gary. Then, as far as where you're at now, then let's say my peptide protocol is a flop, but don't work for your carpal tunnel, or you can't get the surgery, etc. Are you dead set in your ways? You're like, I'm staying in the band, but I'm just gonna be the vocalist. Then is that like what your stance is as of right now?
Yeah, as of right now, I mean, I want to stay involved with the band. I mean, I still enjoy doing it. Like I said, it was just, as I was saying before, it was just too much of just all the practice I was having to do, and I couldn't do it. And I mean, it's a literal physical. I didn't know that I had carpal tunnel. I always heard everybody talk about it. I didn't know how it felt or what it looked like because I had it for a long time.
Well, actually, can you tell me slightly what you feel? Because I literally I was training back in the gym today, and every time when I do this movement, I'll tell you what my feels is. I wonder if my left hand, if I have it. What did you feel?
So carpal tunnel, what I personally deal with a lot is you wake up at night. A lot of times your hands are completely numb. They go absolutely numb.
Oh well, shit, I get that, but I thought that was the growth hormone.
That'll probably do it too. But
okay.
But no, but I was experienced that a lot, but also what I experienced too. So when you're playing, especially a lot of blast beats, stuff like that, stuff over 200, 220, 230, 240 BPM, like I would have to stop in between every song and stretch my hands out and like flop my hands because my hands go totally numb. Just like in one song, I can't even hold the sticks. And so it's just a lot of hand numbness, and just you can't control what you're doing when you're playing, if that makes sense. I mean, just imagine, like maybe something you could relate to. Imagine trying to like write with a pen or a pencil, and your fingers are like literally not strong enough to even hold it. It just falls out of your hand. So it's like that's what I was experiencing while I was playing drums. I would just throw sticks, or drop them, and plus like the live shows, because like I said, I didn't know what was going on at the time. Like live shows, the guys be kind of like looking at me like, man, why are you taking so long in between songs? And I'm sitting there, in my head, I'm like, oh man, I'm just out of shape. I gotta get back in shape. And it didn't have anything to do with shape. My hands were doing that because I had carpal tunnel really, really bad.
Okay, so what I'm getting is you go to the gym. Do you guys have at the gym a rowing machine that's like a low row, like hammer strength? You could do one arm at a time.
Yeah, absolutely.
So like, we have like a hammer grip, or you go like this. The hammer grip, the hand grip, lower row, and your chest against a pad, right? This machine I was using today as my second exercise, and every time I do this one, which not all the time do I do that particular machine because it's taken, so I'll do a different type of row. When I'm doing my left side, anything I get it by the time that I'm nice and warmed up, I'll just start with 3 plates aside. And I'll generally go with like some 4 plates aside and change anything, as long as I get at least 10 reps. And right about 4 and a dime or so is like where I'll fail at 10 in my last set. But even with 3 plates, when I pull it, all in my like wrists and in my hair, it's like the tendon and like it like clicks, like you feel like it's moving, clicking. And
Yep.
3 plates aside, it's fine, but it's clicking and it doesn't hurt. But if I go over 3 plates without I use a strap, then not only do I get a click, but my grip will literally give out, as opposed to my right one won't. So I was like, I don't
Yeah,
know
that's.
what it doesn't bother me too much because it doesn't hurt. So, but I mean, I've noticed that in the past year. I was like, I don't know what the fuck that is.
Are you do a lot of forearm exercises? Do you work your forearms separately?
You know, it's funny. I do after every arm workout and today back, I'll just do some reverse curls, like 2 to 3 sets. And those simply because when I left them out, I would get injuries in my forearms and elbow. Like the tendon would be like weakened from not working in it through a full range of motion, and it get
Right.
inflamed as fuck. But as long as
Yep.
I stay on top of them, just a few sets at the end of back workout and the arm workout, I get no pain whatsoever. So yes, I do them. But there's been years of stretch I get lazy about them. I'm like, how much goddamn bigger my forearm's gonna get? And it's like, dummy, it's not always about getting bigger. It's about fucking staying healthy too.
Yeah, 100%. Because the reason I was asking is because you may be getting injuries. Because I asked because a lot of people will neglect working their forearms, their
Yeah,
wrists,
100%. Yeah,
and you're only as strong as your weakest link.
correct.
Because
Yeah.
he and I were talking about. It's really funny. We were talking about a few weeks ago. You see a lot of these NFL guys with Achilles tears.
Mhm.
And I told him, I said, if you pay attention, I said, it's always these guys that got like these 22-inch calves. And, their mindset is I don't need to work my calves,
Yeah, it's
because I
so
have
funny
huge
you said that.
calves.
Dude, it's so funny you said that. I forget which pro bodybuilder it was. Oh, I do remember this. Quentin, current pro. His calves are enormous.
Yeah.
And he says, yeah, he doesn't ever train them. They're huge calves. And he
Yep.
says, yeah, but now before he does his leg day, he does some calf raises. He's like, because if I don't, he's like, I get tons of pain in my lower kneecap. Because I think the muscle's so goddamn big that it's pulling on that and you're not working it through its range of motion, almost like opening it up and loosening it. Dude, I literally just heard him say that like 2, 3 days ago. So that's hilarious you say that.
Yeah. And I told him, I was like, you get all these guys, they work every muscle in their body except for their calves because their calves are
Yeah.
huge. And then all of a sudden you end up with an Achilles tear. And it's like, you don't strengthen your calves. Just because they're big doesn't mean they're strong.
Yeah, because they're not doing any. Yeah, no, I never thought about that. That's actually hilarious you say that.
Yeah, so I mean, I even tell people, like if you don't even have good calf genetics or you don't care about your calves, you can't neglect any. You need to work all the muscle groups.
Oh,
'Cause
absolutely, dude. I
if you
train
don't,
my calves.
you're gonna get an injury.
Dude, my calves absolutely fucking suck. I mean, but they're
Yeah, mine
way better
too.
than when I
I
first
have
started.
horrible calf genetics. Horrible
Yeah,
calf
so do I.
genetics.
And I train my calves 2 to 3 times a week. It's always after cardio. And I mean, don't get me wrong, they're not it's not skin on bone where you see some guys, it's like they have nothing. I have
Right.
some calves, but I mean they're not impressive by any stretch of the definition. But they
Yeah,
have full shape. I have a full diamond and stuff, but I mean, like, you would think for as much as I train them, they'd be fucking Dorian Yates size, but they fucking ain't.
Yeah, I used to train mine 7 days a week.
I've done because I've tried every protocol because I've heard that, they say calves and abs, you can train every day. I've
Yeah.
done 7, but I seem like, and then I went down to 5 because I do everything in 3 months. See, now I don't train for size. I just train for health now.
Yeah, yeah.
Because I was getting some funky blood work markers and injuries, and I always said it's that 40 age. I'm like, you shouldn't be really pushing the boundary. Like, for example, like growth hormone, I just take a replacement dose before bed. And the main reason I take the growth hormone is just 4 IUs, which is, dude, I know chicks that take more than that, literally. It helps so much with sleep. Your quality of sleep is insane on it. So I take it for that. It ain't even doing shit as far as growth at this point. But
Yeah.
but my
Everything I
calves,
do now,
I found the sweet spot for me was 2 to 3 days to where it was like that where I'd get the best results, but there was no like, because the 7 didn't seem to do more. So I figured, well, if it ain't doing more, why would I do more? But I gave it a full 3 months where I did them 7 days a week. I tried that with arms too. Arms like lighter, nothing super heavy, but 7 days a week. Now that pump work, it didn't seem to give it a fuller look in the triceps, but it seemed like it was almost like uncertain. Just He's like, you're gonna do this for the rest of your life, goddamn, 7 days a week? Probably not.
right,
And it seemed like
right.
once you stopped, almost like it was like an inflammatory response to where they look cool and a little bit more inflamed. But after a few days, it would go away. So you almost like you'd have to keep up on it. So it somewhat worked, but it was the amount of work wasn't worth the reward.
what
You
you
know what I
got
mean?
out of it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. If it was like you put 2 inches on, I'm like, fucking let's keep riding this pony. You know what I mean? Because that's like, fuck it, that's worth it. If you're training your arms 7 days a week and you put on 2 inches in 6 months, I'd be like, that's damn well worth it. But if it's like, eh, I kind of see something, it's like, come on, man. Why the fuck am I doing all this goddamn work for that?
Right. Yeah, I train these days. I mean, I still train pretty heavy, but for me, it's all just it's functional muscle. You know, I want to be able to function. I don't want one of my kids or whatever to run up to me and me grab them and I injure my back because I can't pick them up. Because I'm getting old. I
How old are your
think
kids?
I just think being functional is a lot more important than trying to be big because
Yeah,
I've even downsized. I'm not as big as I used to be. I try to
same.
stay. The biggest I try to be now, I try to keep it right around 230. I don't try to get any bigger than that because I mean,
Oh,
your heart
how tall are you?
6'3".
Okay, because so we're okay. We're about that because I'm 5'9", and first thing in the morning right now I'm hovering between 208 and 212, and but that's downsized for me. My heaviest was
Yep.
I was 243 or so first thing in the morning, with visible abs too. I mean, I was way bigger and way stronger, like the way stronger back like 2019 ish. But I purposely downsized because, like I said, I would when I was 40. It's about 20 years of me doing everything. And it
Right.
finally was getting to the point within the last, right when I hit 39, for the first time ever, I was getting blood work markers that I was not okay with, that I never had before. When you're younger, you're just more resilient. Everything always
Right.
came back good. I'm always like, how the fuck are these guys having problems? I'm like, what the fuck? I was like, my shit's bulletproof. And then and I've talked to a lot of guys like, yeah, dude, just wait till you get older. That shit's gonna catch up. Trust me. Like you'll see. Like just keep an eye on your blood work. Like you'll see a trend. Sure enough, I did. I'm like, and it got outside my comfort level, and that's where I was like, all right, well, it's time to wrap this shit up.
Yeah. Uh, Downsizing was very was important for me just because as you get older, I mean, your heart doesn't know the difference between fat and
No,
muscle. I
100%.
mean, it's still got to work harder, and that's
Dude,
not a
there's an
good
argument.
thing.
There's an argument in the bodybuilding world. It's worse to have more muscle for the heart
Yep.
because that contractile tissue involves blood flow. Well, where do you
Yep.
get that blood flow coming from?
From
It's
the
from the
heart.
heart. It's pumping it out. Adipose tissue has very little blood flow. So there's a
Right.
strong argument. No, it's actually harder on your heart to have all that goddamn muscle.
Absolutely, it is. And I think as you get older, you have to be intelligent, enough to say, "Hey, I need to downsize." If I'm going to
Yeah,
have longevity of life,
1,000%.
and like you said, just making sure to I check, I do my blood every 6 months, and
Yeah.
mine last probably 3 years has been really really good. My blood work, I had trouble with my blood work for the longest. The only thing that helped me, and like I said, I'm not saying it's for everybody, but going over to a carnivore diet helped me a whole lot. It cleaned my blood work up. My blood work's perfect now.
What was coming off of it? So I'm assuming the carnivore, you were probably having maybe some A1C problems, blood sugar problems.
Yeah,
Was that coming back?
blood sugar was terrible. You're sorry, what's the other one?
A1C, fasting A1C. I mean,
Yeah,
hemoglobin A1C, and then there's fasting insulin if they check that. There's
yeah, they did check that. I'm having a moment here.
for your inflammatory marker is going to be your C-reactive protein, what your total body inflammation
Yeah,
is. Was that
yeah,
high?
yeah, that was high too.
Yeah, that's
And
definitely not good.
yeah, my blood work, my cholesterol, like everything was just like garbage. I mean,
Yeah,
it just, I mean, I was pretty much set up to, my doctor was pretty much telling me, it's like, yeah, you're not going to live very long, so,
yeah,
but,
yeah.
now my blood work, I mean, everything comes back like, I mean, perfect every time now. It's exactly as it should be.
Now,
And,
so when you're on carnivore, I'm assuming you have at least a day or so every now and then where you have some carbs, maybe a pizza or something. How often would you have, or maybe you don't? I mean,
yeah, I don't really, I cheat. I have like little cheats here and there. Everybody does carnivore differently, and some people will disagree with me. I still do dairy.
okay,
I will drink some milk. I do eat cheese.
yeah.
But getting rid of vegetables and like rices and carbohydrates and all that, that to me, that was like a game changer. I used to have so much inflammation in my joints and
No,
just
I
so
know a
much.
lot of guys that say it too. That's why I don't poo poo on it. I just say it's not going to work for everybody. Just like vegans, I'm like,
Yeah.
because a lot what you're reporting, I was like, I know vegans that say the same thing. They all the reverse. So explain that. I was like, some of it's going to be genetic response too, and lifestyle and
Yeah.
all that. So I was like, yeah, I was like, but what I always say, I was like, if it's working for you, you don't fix what ain't broken, bro. Like if it's working, you ride that shit.
Yeah, I think the most important, another important thing too, I talk to him a lot, is people need to do more research on what sugar does to the body and how the
Oh
body.
yeah,
I mean, because you look at any you know, subset of people, like I've told him, or we talked about, like you know, people that live, like, you know, near the Arctic and places like that. You know, they live off seal and like whale blubber and things like
yeah,
that. They have no obesity problems. You know, there's no diabetes, there's no Alzheimer's, there's none of
mhm,
that in their culture.
yeah.
And I believe that it's directly related to the way that they eat, because
So
you know,
do you yourself? So you don't eat any fruit either, then?
no, not at all.
Okay,
I
because I
don't do
know
any.
some carnivore guys they'll implement a little fruit, and then I know
Mhm.
some that they don't implement any at all.
Yeah, I'll every now and then, like I said, I'll have my biggest cheat is like if we're sitting around, like, I think my biggest cheat is like if he and I are hanging out or something like that. I'll drink, you know, if I'm drinking a little bit, I'll drink like some, you know, Mick Ultras or something.
Okay, okay.
That's like my biggest
What
cheat.
was
That's where I cheat
what
at.
was the last time you had a pizza then?
Uh, I probably haven't had a pizza. I've had like a couple of bites of pizza, probably like 3 years.
Oh, okay, shit, that's crazy long. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Goddamn. And
yeah.
so it doesn't n- cutting those foods out like basically permanently because a lot of guys they'll have them like once a week or once every 2 weeks, but you
Mm.
cutting them out permanently that doesn't bother you at all. Like you don't crave it, you don't want it, you don't care. Doesn't bother you.
Yeah, I mean, you have moments to where like you want to eat it, and that's what I tell people. I think if you're gonna try to, you know, be able to stay on a diet like that, I think that it's important for you to figure out how you need to cheat. I know that sounds kind of stupid, but I tell everybody, like, if you're going to try an extreme diet and it works for you, but you're having a really hard time maintaining that diet, have a cheat day.
Yeah,
Because
100%. Because you gotta get it out of your system.
yeah, because you're still going to be eating clean 90% of the time, and it's still going to
Correct.
give you great benefits, but you're going to feel like you have something to look forward to and a reward. I'm just a little bit more extreme. Like I'm one of those people to where, like, if something really is working for me and it really helps me a lot, I get excited about it, and I just like to stay the course.
Yeah. Another reason I like to implement cheat meals here and there with guys that I'm coaching, even if their goal is weight loss, and I'll keep them
Hmm.
in there as long as progress continues, is one thing I found out in the bodybuilding world that I never got. And I think because I always had at least one cheat meal per week
Mm.
is very common. The guys that would like be super strict for months and months on end, like chicken and rice, beef and potatoes, like strictly bodybuilding foods, no cheats whatsoever, is they build up an allergen to foods that they never had. Like your body
Yep.
almost doesn't know how to process them no more. Like I tons of guys are like, dude, I can't eat bread no more. I can't eat pizza. Like never had a problem because you build up an allergen to the foods that when you completely cut them out. And now it's kind of like, well, now you're kind of fucked because what if you, number one, what if you enjoy those foods? That sucks. And number two, social events, etc. If they're there and they're somewhat out of your control, it's like now
Right.
you have this allergen to them. That fucking sucks. I never had an allergen to any foods. And I think for the reason, like, I never completely cut it out. Now there's days like if I was at the end of a diet, and I was like, I got to get this last 3 to 6 pounds off. There'd be like 3 week stretch where I'd be buckled down, where it was like day zero carbs, nothing but fish and vegetables, but it was only like for 3 weeks. You know what I mean? I've never
Right.
gone months with nothing. I've never done that, you know.
Yeah, I've gone very long periods of time with very, very minimal carbs.
Burger and
Uh,
fries. And when was the last time you had a burger and fries?
I eat burgers all the time. I just eat
But
bunless
just
burgers.
yeah, you eat on this burger. Yeah, okay, yeah. But fries, you
Yeah.
haven't had you haven't had fries in forever.
Nah, yeah, I don't do fries. Like every now and then, if somebody around me has got like fries, I may like grab one.
Okay, okay.
Just to, and I kind of do it because of what you were saying. You know, because your gut bacterium and everything changes
100%.
when you do that type of diet. And I do try to do that just simply because, yeah, I know it sounds kind of crazy, but you never know what's going to happen. Like, say you get stuck in a situation to where, I don't know, the shit hits the fan, and
No,
you
that's
know
what I
you
mean.
can,
It's something out of your control. And then what if you're
right, you
allergic
can't
to
eat.
everything? Now you're
You
fucked.
Yeah, you can't eat steak and hamburger all the time.
Yeah,
So I try to keep my body to where I can eat those things if I need to, but I just try
yeah,
to be very minimalistic within it.
yeah, yeah. No, that makes sense. 100%. Yeah, Yeah, so shit, dude, you're more strict than I am as far as dieting. Like, I'm strict in the sense where I eat like the same foods and stuff, but
Mm.
especially me being kind of like done with like bodybuilding focus, I just train literally for health. And honestly, a lot of it's mindset. I train for that tough mental mindset and I just enjoy
Yeah.
training. So,
Yeah.
but as far as like, I'm not like worried about, I need to get bigger, I need to get more shredded. I literally don't give a fuck anymore. Now, I love the sport of bodybuilding and I follow it. Like, I'm a fan of it, the competitors and
Yeah.
shit, like kind of like US football. But me, like, I'm done. Like, I'm done. And honestly, like, life's easier than ever. So having said that, I still eat the bodybuilding foods like salmon, chicken, steak, rice, things like that. It's strictly bodybuilding. But if I want something, I'm more free than you. I was like, fuck it, I just have it. I'm like, I'm fucking
Yeah.
retired, motherfucker. I was like, I'm eating it.
Oh no, I was huge into bodybuilding for years. I was a big Ronnie Coleman fan. I loved Ronnie Coleman.
Dude, who doesn't like Ronnie? If you don't like Ronnie, there's something messed up in your fucking head. Just hearing him
Yeah.
talks puts you in a dude. If you're in a bad mood, here's what you got to do. If you're in a bad mood, just go watch a Ronnie Coleman interview. He like picks you up.
And I mean, even after everything that he's been through with all those back surgeries
That's what I
and all
mean, dude.
that, I mean, he's still like the greatest guy. You know, he's
Greatest guy
always in a
ever,
great
dude.
mood.
Dude,
I
my
mean,
photo with him, yeah, he's sitting down. Me and Lindsay got our photo with him and shit at the Olympia. Bought his book
uh-huh.
at the time, had a side, but he's sitting down because yeah, he's like, dude, he's fucking tore up from the floor up.
Yeah, yeah,
You know, but yeah,
yeah,
he's like, he never complains. He's still in a good mood, and it's just
yeah.
like that.
And
That's like
and
that to me is like that. That's such a strong mental mindset because I can say for myself, there's no way I'd be able to stay positive with that. I wouldn't.
yeah,
I'd be
and even when he was on the Joe Rogan podcast, you know, he talked
fucking
about,
hilarious.
you know,
Dude,
finding that.
I like when he asked about steroids. He's like, you know, just testosterone, DECA, D-ball, you know, basic stuff.
Yeah,
Like his response was just hilarious.
take your tan before the
Yeah,
contest.
yeah. Yeah, he's just so damn funny.
Yeah, yeah, he's a great guy. Man, talk about just genetics, like unreal genetics.
Oh, without doubt, without shadow of a doubt. Yeah.
He's a once in a lifetime, you know, guy. Because I mean, he was even competing. You know, like when he first started competing, he wasn't even on anything. He
No,
didn't even take
100%,
chemicals.
no. Yeah, no. No, that's the way
So
it should be. Like that way you find out what your natural potential is, and then if you want to go further, because your goal might be like, you know what, I just kind of want to be lean with abs. It's like, well, what the fuck are you taking shit? You don't need to take shit to get there, dude. You can get there natural. But if you get to a point where you've been training 5 years or so in proper nutrition, everything, and you do want to go further than what your genetics allow, well, then go look down that avenue and start as low as possible, and then
yeah,
go from there. But like, don't just start. Dude, there's guys they start when it's like their first week in the gym. I'm like, what are you doing, retard?
yeah, you'll see these young guys in there, man, and they're like 19, 20 years old. And I told him, I was like, you know, they're coming in there, and I mean, don't get me wrong, they're jacked, but you see all the acne and everything. And
Yeah,
I mean, if you're anything like me, you can kind of look at somebody and tell what they're on. You can
thousand
kind of like,
percent.
yeah, they're taking this, and this, you
Yeah,
know, just by the way they look. And it's like, yeah,
correct.
you can tell they're on like, I'm like, I mean, you talk to a 19-year-old kid, and they're like, I'm taking Tren. I'm like, why are you taking Tren? Like,
Thousand
why
percent.
would you do that?
Correct.
It's like, you know, do you have any aspirations to have children? You know, it's
Yeah,
like, because
I
you're
know,
not
dude.
going
It's like
to.
unless you're competing, or if you are like, let's say you're not competing, but bodybuilding physique is very, very important to you. I was like, you only use Tren at the time to where you're using it as a cosmetic. You're already dieted down, very lean for maybe you're going to the beach or whatever, and you don't use it for long periods. It's like 4 weeks.
Yeah,
And you don't do it as a first, second cycle. That's something you use years down. I was like, just use the basic shit. Test, DECA, EQ, the more mild stuff. You don't
right.
throw in Anadrol and Tren and like, what do you do? You're fucking yourself up, you dumb fuck.
Maybe some master on, you know, it's
Yeah,
like,
mild shit. Because in all honesty, dude, I challenge anybody. I was like, dude, if you live a healthy lifestyle, you do cardio, you weight train, your diet's healthy, you're taking health supplements that I recommend if you're on this endeavor. I was like, if you're to run something like 1,000 milligrams of test and like 500 Masteron or 500 EQ or something like that, you would be very hard pressed to have bad blood work on that. You would.
yeah,
I mean, you can have perfect blood. I know I've seen it a million times. Every guy that has shitty blood work on that, I was like, it's gonna be shitty when you're on nothing too. Because your lifestyle licks balls, bro. You're going to the bar playing grab ass with your boys every fucking Friday and getting fucked up, and then eating wings and bar food, and then you wake up and you just who the fuck knows what he's eating? Bologna sandwiches. You don't do cardio. You train like a total fucking pussy, and you take
yep,
no. You don't even take a fucking multivitamin or vitamin D. You take nothing as far as health shit, and you wonder why your shit sucks because you fucking suck, dude. I was like, there's
Yeah,
no reason you should not have that shit shouldn't be perfect. If it's not perfect, you're fucking up. Like you're not doing what you need to be doing.
yeah, that's what I told Matt is, we've talked about, with chemicals and stuff like that. I told him, I was like, one of the biggest mistakes that I see everybody do, if that's the avenue you're going to go down, if you're going to play with the chemicals, is exactly what you just said. You can't play with chemicals and eat a bunch of shitty ass food too.
No.
It's like you're
Yeah,
going to have to make the choice. It's
you're
like, which way are
really
you going to
fast
go?
tracking yourself then.
Right. I mean, you're going to kill yourself because,
Right.
yeah, you'll be shredded, you'll have abs, you'll look great, but you'll probably be dead by the time you're 40,
100%. Yeah.
Right. I mean, because it's going to destroy your cardiovascular system. I mean,
Dude,
you're
I
not going to
can't
be
tell you how many people like that were my age that they be taking the same shit as me. Some will be taking fucking less shit than me. And they'd always come to me and show me their blood work. And if it was in person, I kind of knew them, I'd do it for free. I'm like, dude, how is your shit all? I was like, mine's never looked like this. I was like, how is your shit all fucked up? Like, what are you doing? Like liver enzymes through the roof, fucking kidney function off, fucking RBCs high as fuck, hematocrit high as fuck, fucking A1C off. I'm like, dude, you're a fucking dumbass. Like, what are you doing?
eating like shit
Yeah.
and doing like you said. They go out and get drunk every night. They eat whatever they
Yeah.
want. As long as they look good, that's all they're worried about. They don't worry about the fact that comes with repercussions later.
Right, correct. Yeah. 100%. And that's why the other reason why I think a lot of guys young, it's funny because it's a catch 22. Your body's the most resilient when you're young. So it's like
Mm-hmm.
you kind of want to do it when you're young because
Yep.
you can't do it when you're older. But at the same time, your mind is immature. If you're going to start adding chemicals to your body, it's like, yeah, but what if you give up in 5 years? That was a waste. It's like it's only worth doing it if you're young, if you're all in with your training, nutrition, and your goals, and you can pretty much say without a shadow of a doubt, I'm doing this for at least majority of the rest of my life. Outside that, I just think it's a waste. If you're gonna do like jump on gear and shit, and let's say when you're 19 and then you're done when you're 25 because you got married and had kids, you don't go to the gym no more. I'm like, well, that was fucking stupid.
Yeah. I mean, it's like, what was the point?
Correct. And that's what most guys do.
Oh yeah, tons of them. I mean, you see the gym bros; they do it all, or like you said, guys get into it 3 or 4 years,
Yep.
and plus there's just no longevity, in it. It's like I do this not only to look good, but I want to feel good and I want to live longer. I mean,
Yeah.
I want to have longevity of life. It's not
Yeah.
just if me doing something or taking something is going to take 10, 15 years off my life, then what is the point of doing it? I mean, that's crazy.
Yeah. 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 No, I get it. Feel especially about like pro bodybuilders when they got that's their livelihood and shit. I
Mhm.
get that. I get it then. But if you're not doing it for that reason, it's like, yeah, it's probably like you might want to rethink that, buddy.
I
You
think
know?
people like Jay Cutler, he got in and got out.
Yeah.
He didn't do it for really he didn't do like Dexter Jackson and do it till he was nearly fucking 50 years old.
Yeah.
And
Although
don't get me
Dexter got pretty
wrong,
lucky though too. He seems to be pretty healthy and no injuries or nothing.
yeah,
But that's
Dexter
one guy.
Jackson
The
is
people
blessed.
people will say that too. I'm like, that's you're cherry picking, dude. That's one guy. Show me 10 guys that have done that in the history of the sport. You can't do it because there hasn't been 10.
Yeah, Dexter Jackson just has freaky genetics and just
Correct.
his body. He's built different. He's
Yeah.
not like everybody else.
Yeah.
Because I mean, if you're sitting around still blasting at 50, and like you said, your blood markers are still good, and you're not having some type of health issue, you're very fortunate.
Dude, I'll tell you what, I know a guy personally, I won't say his name. No, there's no way he watches my shit or anything. This guy at my gym and I think he's 55. And actually, I just talked to him the other day because we're talking about blood markers and shit. I was like, let me ask you a question. I was like, when was the last time that you've been on, let's say the lowest amount you've been on is 500 milligrams of tests? He's like, I can't even tell you. I was like, what's the lowest you think you've been on in like, let's say 5 years? He's like, the lowest? He's like, well, the lowest I would do would be just test only, and it'd be 3 cc's a week, and it's usually 250 about. Say so. Let's say 750 tests. That's the lowest in years he's ever done. And this guy's well into his 50s, competed in the 90s, doesn't have any major health problems. I don't know how I don't know what his fucking MRIs and shit look like. They might be a little
Right.
jacked up, but what I'm saying is like, god damn, dude. I mean, you're kind of because I'm like, yeah, that's. I was like, but you don't like worry at all? He's like, I see the doctor, says I'm fine. I'm like, all right.
It'll it, it,
You're definitely playing Russian roulette. I was like, that's crazy.
it'll eventually come because I guarantee his heart's enlarged.
Has to
It
be.
is.
He has to be. Yeah. Yeah.
Because I take losartan to I have some blood pressure issues, but also
Same,
enough
same.
too that It helps with left ventricular
Yeah,
hypertrophy.
because the ARBs are known for doing that. That's why I recommend telmisartan to a lot of people, even if their blood pressure is just slightly elevated. Because what I like about the ARBs is that they show remodeling of the heart and kidneys, even outside the symptoms of a blood pressure. And it's funny. That's why I was like, fucking finally, a goddamn good doctor. Our cat Trey, who's in fucking kidney failure, what the doctor prescribed out, that was just the JDOL protocol, the peptides and the glutathione. The doctor took all, he's like, this is bullshit because he's on meds for his heart that he had a birth defect for. He pulled them off, and one of the meds, I was like, whoa, fucking finally, we don't got a dum-dum. He put him on telmisartan. And that's rare because in the US, like, they don't prescribe ARBs that often. It's more so in Canada and in Europe because our dumbasses are at least 20 years behind always. They still always prescribe either ACE inhibitors, or if you got a real dumb, just diuretics as a first plan of attack. Sometimes calcium channel blockers. But everybody I know that gets a script for blood pressure, I almost can't think of anybody that gets an ARB. It's kind of crazy that you are on one too.
Yeah. I specifically asked for it because
when I that's why. Okay. I was gonna say, okay, that makes more sense then. Yeah.
Yeah. The doctor that I go to, he's pretty. Long story short, he used to do bodybuilding also.
Oh, that's those are the best ones, dude, because they're a little bit more open-minded.
Yeah, so I can have a real conversation with him.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I don't have to go in there and feel like I can't talk to him about certain things.
My doctor, I can't tell shit, dude. I mean, granted, she's not a complete idiot, so but it's severely fucking downplayed. Let's just say that. They look at you like you're a heroin addict. They won't even help you.
Oh yeah. I went to it was funny. I went to I started having autoimmune issues, and I went to a dermatologist because I was having breakouts. I was going to see, if they could do anything for me. And I took my shirt off, and the first thing the lady says to me, she's like, how many steroids are you on? I'm like, ma'am, I'm on TRT, 200 milligrams a week. I was like, that's all I take. I was like,
which is basically anyone that doesn't know in bodybuilding fitness world, anybody you look up to, that's literally like Fred Flintstone vitamins in comparison to what other people are doing. Like literally.
Yes. Yeah, I'm taking 200 milligrams of test a week, and I'm 48 years old, so.
Yeah.
And but she immediately just like thought I was on all this shit, and she's like, that's what's causing all your acne. And I'm like, no, ma'am. I was like, that's not what it is. I've never had this issue before. And that was another thing, the autoimmune issues I was having too, when I went to when I started, went to all meat. That helped with that a whole lot. That worked for me.
The thing is, dude, like, you didn't know, even though you didn't do the elimination diet, a lot of the foods, even whether it been vegetables, you probably naturally had an allergen to it. Because, dude, if you get a genetic blood testing, which I've had a lot of people do, you'd be amazed what people are allergic to. Some people are allergic to chicken. Some people are allergic to whole eggs. That's rare. The most common is things like broccoli and cauliflower. Like, dude, tons of people are allergic. They don't realize it. That's like, you don't. But the thing is, like, you could get a full blood panel. It'll tell you what foods you're allergic to. You probably were and just never checked. And then once you cut them out, a lot of your shit that it was like, well, yeah, you're eating shit you're allergic to. It's fucking you up. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know beyond the shadow of a doubt that broccoli is definitely one of them.
Yeah, a lot. That one's very common. That's very common.
I can eat broccoli, and like the next day, I could just like feel the inflammation like in my joints and my hands.
Dude, if you're getting an inflammatory response from any food, it's almost guaranteed you're allergic to it. You should not be building up a shitload of systemic inflammation from food. That's not normal.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But
well, we probably scared the raw fucking audience off the last fucking half hour. But
Jim questions.
Yeah, exactly. Well, so then I'll let you guys go. Send me those links, Matt, and then talk to fucking Lee and Gary. Tell Gareth to fucking email my ass about the releases, and if he wants to do a Zoom as well. And if he says if he doesn't have my email, I still have his in my inbox. I can hit him back up and just like hit you up again.
Yeah, if you'd like, hit him up, and as soon as I get off, I'll send him a message and tell him to be looking for that you're trying to contact him. Cool,
perfect. Let's do that. That'll probably work out easier. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. All right, guys. Yeah, I think that's good. Is there anything else last minute you want to shout out or say that I forgot to bring up? Is there anything that I left out?
Thanks for the interview, and
Yeah.
go check out Hell's Headbangers sale going today. You'll miss it by this video.
By this, yeah, this will be up
I'm
about.
gonna go check it out and get something. So
Hell yeah, we're slammed beyond belief. But like I said, I think we still have some of those Chaos Inceptions left in stock. A handful of them, like not that. Except I think we sold like 2 just even like yesterday or so. I don't know what we got.
I
Check the
think we
goddamn
got
site.
about
Maybe it's sold out by now.
4 or 5.
If it's sold
think-
out, old Easy. I mean, yeah, fucking Sea-Daw's gonna have to hit you up for a goddamn restock.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So check out the Hell site for that goddamn Chaos Inception. It's definitely 2 paws approved by the goddamn dog. In case you happen to goddamn give a fuck. All right, guys, we're out of here.
Appreciate you, brother.
Yeah, appreciate it. Later, man.